Hey, welcome to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Check out our playlist for more amazing novels and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new audiobook. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 121, 1 Against 3, Defeating the Ancient Ancestor. Yi Juxin also had the same expression as Chu Yan. She couldn't imagine. That weak little family back then has actually developed to the point where there is a martial emperor in charge and even the Hellgate is helpless. However, when he saw the real dragon in the sky still fighting with the other two ancient ancestors, all doubts are solved. With such a strong man in charge, any ambitious family should be able to develop. But the speed really shocked her. How did your Chu family get such a transcendent level expert to become your patron saint? She couldn't help but ask curiously. There doesn't seem to be anything special about the Chu family, right? Well, I heard from my ancestor that when he met Beast God, he was only a rank 4 demon sect. After he became our guardian beast, his cultivation level improved by leaps and bounds every few days, and his bloodline even reverted to his ancestral state. Now that I think about it, even if there is a very strong talent, it is impossible to practice so fast. I guess that Beast God was most likely a supreme being before, but his cultivation might have been sealed. As time went by, his cultivation was also being unlocked. Otherwise, all this cannot be explained. Chu Yan said thoughtfully. That was the only explanation he could think of. Otherwise, no matter how talented one is, it is impossible to break through from a rank 4 demon sect to the Lingshu Grotto Heaven Ancient Ancestor level in just a few years. You have to know that these ancient ancestors practiced for millions of years. How long has it been since Beast God? Several years. Stop kidding. Even dogs don't believe it. Yao Lao also nodded. This explanation is also the most reasonable. Above the sky, Long Yuan was also not feeling well. While knocking down Zulong Guzu with one palm, he also suffered a powerful blow from another ancient ancestor holding a long sword, and a huge sword wound appeared on his side. Brilliant golden dragon blood dripped from the wound. The wound is deep, but it is not fatal to a strong man like Long Yuan. For strong people like them, their vitality is very strong, and they will not die even if their bodies are blown up. Even if the soul is wiped out, only the marks left in the long river of time still exist. They can be resurrected. The wound is bright with rays of light. The huge wound is healing quickly. The ancient ancestor holding the long sword spurted out a mouthful of blood. What a terrifying physical strength. Just at the moment when his long sword chopped down, Long Yuan's huge dragon tail also swept over and hit him in the face. Just a moment. All the bones in his body were broken. I'm afraid this physical body has reached the master level. It's really worthy of being called true dragon race. At this time, Zulong Guzu flew up with wounds all over his body. He was also seriously injured. When he was hit by that palm again, his soul was almost annihilated. The body was broken like porcelain. But as he flew high into the sky, the injuries on his body gradually recovered. Now that you have come to my grotto heaven today, you can't leave. Zulong Guzu looked angry and said in a deep voice. Then he attacked again with double maces in hand. Then you guys try it and see. Long Yuan was not afraid at all. When the three rushed over again, a huge yin-yang Tai Chi diagram appeared above him. The yin and yang energies swirl around the Tai Chi diagram, blooming these wisps of black and white light. At the same time, there are two giant dragons exactly the same as Long Yuan swimming on the Tai Chi diagram. This is the divine ability, yin-yang dragon diagram, carried by the yin-yang dragon bloodline, which possesses incomparably powerful defensive power. Come on, let me see how you, Grotto Heaven, can break my divine ability. Now, Long Yuan rushed towards the three people with more confidence. Look, I'm going to blow your head off. Kui Kwang held the dark golden mace in both hands and brought it down. Wherever he passed, the space was broken into pieces. There was a loud bang. The glowing mace slammed into the yin-yang dragon diagram. The whole picture was shaking violently due to the terrifying force. But unfortunately, failed to break it. Boom. And Long Yuan also took advantage of him attacking him. The dragon claw glowed with light, and it blasted the opponent's head with a punch. Meanwhile, the attacks of the other two came as expected. The double maces and the long sword landed on the yin-yang dragon diagram almost at the same time. There was a loud bang. The yin-yang dragon diagram exploded. But the yin and yang energy inside them turned into two dragons and bombarded the two people. Let their bodies explode completely. But even such a powerful attack still failed to completely kill them. After all, the Wuliang realm is too powerful. Just a moment. The three figures resurrected and appeared in front of Long Yuan. However, Zulong Guzu's face was already a little pale. This kind of repair of injuries is not without limits. When the original power is completely exhausted. If he wants to be resurrected, he can only do so through the mark left in the long river of time. Several people didn't say anything. They fought fiercely again. The execution below was completely interrupted. The Lord of the Forbidden Land did not dare to rashly order the execution. Otherwise, once the battlefield is brought onto this continent, the consequences will be disastrous. This real dragon is so terrifying. He fought 1 against 3 and actually beat the 3 infinite realm ancestors into retreat. Songtai held his cane tightly and looked up into the sky. He is a strong man in the realm of immortality. But under such a horrifying attack, the only result was that he was reduced to ashes. Ha ha ha. Do you three have any other means? If not, I will take Chu Yan away. Long Yuan's dragon claws kept blasting out. The bodies of the three people exploded again and again. He himself only suffered minor injuries. Although he is not using the yin-yang dragon diagram now. However, golden circles appeared on the dragon scale between his eyebrows. If we count them carefully, there are 9 in total. This is the divine ability, 9 transformations of the divine dragon. Although this divine ability is only a divine level divine ability. But its power cannot be underestimated. If his combat power was only at the level of infinite realm perfection before, then after performing the 9 transformations of the divine dragon, it was raised to a higher level. That's why he can suppress his opponent. As for whether his current combat power has reached the next level, Long Yuan thought it was impossible. At most, it is only slightly stronger than the perfection of the infinite realm. But it is this little bit. It was enough for him to crush the opponent. However, when Long Yuan shouted that sentence, an aura began to gradually spread from the depths of grotto heaven. This is, ha 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 ha, the third ancient ancestor has awakened. Kid, your death is coming. Zulong Guzu laughed with a pale face. There are more than 3 ancient ancestors of grotto heaven. The strongest ones are the top 3 ancient ancestors. Those 3 are all powerful people who are only one step away from entering the opening heaven realm. What is opening heaven? The one who opens up the universe in the vast chaos is in the realm of opening heaven. Now, the third ancient ancestor awakened from his deep sleep. They just didn't believe it. What kind of waves can this little real dragon make? The atmosphere of terror spreads. Everyone felt a creepy atmosphere enveloping the entire world. Another ancient ancestor appeared. Chu Yan felt bitter. Because I am such an insignificant person. It actually caused such a big commotion. I shouldn't have crushed the jade talisman. Beast God, please get out of here. Chu Yan roared towards the sky. Unfortunately, there was no response at all. Chapter 122. If you don't follow martial ethics, don't blame me for cheating. Long Yuan frowned. Nanas. This Lingshu grotto heaven really doesn't follow martial ethics. After beating the younger one, the older one will come. Since you don't follow the ethics of martial arts, don't blame me for cheating. System, start absorbing the 30,000 years of cultivation. With the 90-fold increase brought by the Chu family's level, it is equivalent to 2.7 million years of cultivation. Originally, he planned to wait until this matter was settled and then return to the Dragon Emperor Palace to lie comfortably inside and slowly absorb the energy, but now plans cannot keep up with changes. The energy is huge, but it was gentle to Long Yuan. Infinite realm. The energy required is naturally huge. After more than 2 million years of cultivation, I don't know if I can break through to the next great realm. Shu Lang Ji Zhu and the other 2 suddenly turned around and looked at Long Yuan. They actually felt that the other party's aura was rising. He actually has other tricks. The 3 were horrified. This real dragon is too terrifying. They thought that the other party had just exploded with all his strength. But I didn't expect there was something hidden. Playing the pig and eating the ancestor, this is an old silver coin. Zulong Guzu cursed in a low voice. No wonder they were abused so badly. It turns out to be the sixth one. The three people who were originally planning to take action no longer dared to act rashly. What if the opponent's strength exceeds theirs by a lot? It would be very bad if we completely erased the marks they had hidden in the long river of time. The aura of the third ancient ancestor is reviving. Long Yuan is gradually becoming stronger as he absorbs the cultivation energy rewarded by the system. Both sides seem to be gathering strength. Boom! A beam of light burst out from the depths of grotto heaven and shot straight into the sky. Then a destitute old man wearing tattered armor and holding a rusty spear walked slowly towards them. If it weren't for the armor, the spear, and the terrifying aura, it makes people think that this is a beggar. Meet the third ancient ancestor. Shu Lang and others saluted. Greetings to the third ancient ancestor. All the senior officials bowed and saluted. Other martial artists even knelt on one knee, not daring to look directly at the third ancient ancestor. Powerful man of the dragon race, why did you come to my grotto heaven to cause trouble? The third ancient ancestor looked at Long Yuan with his cloudy eyes. He had sensed the previous battles. He was surprised by the opponent's fighting ability. The higher the realm, the number of strong people will be less. The strong men in the infinite realm are definitely not from this era. I should know the other person to some extent. Why did he know nothing about it? I don't have any intention of causing any trouble. I just want to take my disciples away. Long Yuan said calmly. Your disciple? The third ancient ancestor looked towards the continent below. The spiritual sense took one glance and understood everything instantly. Go away. That man is tainted with evil spirits. I, Grotto Heaven, will not tolerate him. Demonic energy. What is demonic energy? Long Yuan wondered. You don't know about demonic energy. Don't you know about demon race? The third ancient ancestor looked at Long Yuan in surprise. How could such a powerful person not know about the existence of demon race? I don't know. Long Yuan shook his head. There seems to be no so-called demon race in the human world. As for the outside world of the human world, he hadn't explored those places. You don't know about the great war between the myriad races and the demon races in ancient times. The third ancient ancestor asked in astonishment. That war happened only a few million years ago. I was born in the human world and have never heard of the demon race. I don't even know about the war between the myriad races and the demon race. Long Yuan said calmly. So you've been to hell? The third ancient ancestor suddenly narrowed his eyes and asked. My grip on the spear couldn't help but tighten a little. Where is the netherworld hell? Long Yuan asked back. If you have never been to the netherworld, how did you break through to your current state? Oh, by the way, the netherworld I mentioned is what you call the Holy Realm. Have no idea. As for the breakthrough, I naturally have my own way. Looking at Long Yuan's unchanged expression, the third ancient ancestor was depressed. Demon race, demon world doesn't know. I don't know the netherworld or hell. Could it be that this person cultivated to this level through seclusion? Impossible. You know about Hell's Gate, right? The geniuses in Hell's Gate will be sent to the so-called Holy Realm for training, and the Holy Realm is what I call the netherworld hell. Long Yuan suddenly realized. So that's what it means. I know about the Gate of Hell, but I have never been to the so-called netherworld. I have always stayed in the human world and have never been anywhere else. But recently, a martial artist from the immortal realm appeared in Hell's Gate and is attacking the forbidden area, Cave of Time. I know a thing or two about that. I even fought against a powerful immortal realm warrior from Hell's Gate some time ago. The other party was defeated by me. They should be recruiting people during this period. The world they came from should be the netherworld hell you mentioned. Long Yuan finally understood why a force called Hell Gate appeared in the human world. It turns out that their base camp is in the netherworld hell. No wonder. But he didn't want to care about these. As long as it does not hinder the development of the Chu family. He doesn't care about the Gate of Hell or the Gate of Heaven. I don't want to care about Hellgate and demon race. Today, I am here to take my disciples away. Please give me some convenience, Your Excellency. As for continuing the fight, there's probably no need for that. Even if all of your ancient ancestors come out, you may not be able to defeat me. Long Yuan said firmly. Just finished. An even more powerful aura emanated from him. Is this a breakthrough to the late stage of the infinite realm? Kui Kwang and the others widened their eyes. They thought the other party used some secret method. The result was a breakthrough. I told you, that boy has demonic energy. I can't let such a person leave my grotto heaven alive. Do you know why we have been guarding here for generations? It's to block the entrance of the demon race into the human world. And now he has demonic energy. If he is allowed to leave here alive and become a big shot in the future, it would be like a 1,000-mile dam being destroyed by an ant hole. Facing Long Yuan's request, the third ancient ancestor did not give in. Again, others can be discussed, but it is absolutely impossible to let go of the boy who is related to demon race. Long Yuan frowned. The dragon claw waved. The chains on Chu Long's body instantly shattered, and his body instantly disappeared from the spot. Appeared next to Long Yuan. I have seen the beast god. Chu Long bowed and saluted. What's the matter with the evil spirit in you? Long Yuan asked. Since the other party has a tough attitude, then we can only think of a solution from Chu Long. And he was curious. Where did Chu Long get this evil energy from? I don't know what demonic energy is. The only thing about me that has anything to do with the devil is probably a strange fire. 3 flames appeared behind Chu Yan. One of them was a purple flame. It was the heaven-level strange fire Zui heavenly fire that Long Yuan gave him. In recent years, Chu Yan relied on Zui heavenly fire to overcome many difficulties. Later, he refined this strange fire. Let his strength improve by leaps and bounds. The other 2 are golden in color. One is pitch black. The golden one is Gold Emperor Heaven Incinerating Flame, which ranks 7th on the heaven-level strange fire list. And that black flame is the 9 Nether Heavenly Demon Fire, ranked 9th on the heaven-level strange fire list. That is, at the moment when this flame appeared. Long Yuan, the third ancient ancestor and others immediately turned their gazes over. Chapter 123 Heavenly Fire Remnant Soul. This aura is exactly the same as the black aura emanating from the battlefield outside the grotto heaven. So that's what they call demonic energy. Long Yuan finally understood what demonic energy was. However, what surprised Chu Yan was that, being stared at by so many powerful people, the 9 Nether Heavenly Demon Fire actually began to shake violently. How so? The 9 Nether Heavenly Demon Fire did not have any intelligence. How could he become frightened like a living being? Just then, a beam of black light shot out from the 9 Nether Heavenly Demon Fire, drilling towards Chu Yan's forehead. The latter was shocked. Although I didn't know what this was, I felt something was wrong. Immediately the energy in the body exploded. A red energy barrier appeared in front of him. But this did not stop the black light at all. The other party passed through the barrier unhindered, touched Chu Yan's forehead, and wanted to merge with him. But the next moment, the black light stopped instantly. But it was Long Yuan who took action. Residual soul. Long Yuan looked at the black light. Ah, little dragon race, why don't you let me go? That remnant soul struggled violently, roaring towards Long Yuan. At this time he took on a form. It turned out to be a humanoid creature with wings on its back and horns on its head. Long Yuan frowned. So this is what is called demon race. The aura emanating from the other party was exactly the same as the demonic energy on the battlefield at the entrance to the Lingshu Grotto Heaven. He thought of the blood-stained ancient coffin beneath Qingyang Lake. Just now when the third ancient ancestor mentioned the demon race, he thought that thing was the so-called demon race. But now it seems that the other party is not. Not only did that creature not have any demonic energy, and the appearance is also very different from demon race. That creature gave him an extremely evil feeling, even more evil than demon race. At this moment, the demon soul struggled violently. He stared at Long Yuan with a pair of eyes as big as copper gongs. If I had known this earlier, I should have taken over the body of Chu Yan, the human boy, before entering Lingshu Grotto Heaven. The reason why I didn't do that is, it was just to hide quietly in the strange fire to recuperate and recover from injuries. You are just an immortal, yet you dare to shout in front of me. I think you are courting death. Long Yuan Dragon Claw exerts a little force. The demon soul felt an incomparable force exerted on itself. It seems like it is going to crush me to pieces. Ah, Xiaolong, how dare you? If you dare to kill me, when I, the demon race ancestral dragon, come one day, I will peel off your skin and pull out your tendons, and throw you into the 18th level of hell. If you spare my life and take me away from here, when my demon race army arrives one day, I will plead with Lord Zulong to accept you as his general. Maybe you can even get a drop of Zulong's blood, which should be the treasure you have always dreamed of. The demon soul shouted to Long Yuan in a low voice. Transforming bloodline into the ancestral dragon bloodline should be the dream of all dragon races. Bang! Long Yuan pinched the demon soul's head with 2 fingers. He laughed disdainfully. Ancestral dragon bloodline. Ha 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 ha, my bloodline has long surpassed the ancestral dragon bloodline. How can that kind of rubbish make me excited? Nonsense. How dare you, a mixed blood dragon race with an unknown bloodline, say that you have surpassed the ancestral dragon bloodline? This is a joke. I'll give you another chance to choose. Bang! As soon as he finished speaking, then Long Yuan directly crushed the remaining soul. I thought the demon race was something special, but it turns out they are just a bunch of frogs in a well. Long Yuan said with disdain. What is the supreme dragon bloodline? That's because you didn't cheat. Chu Yan was so frightened that he broke out in a cold sweat. He had been refining the 9 nether heavenly demon fire for such a long time, but he didn't know that there was still a remnant soul of the demon race living in it. Luckily, Beast God is here, otherwise I might really be possessed. But if there is no Beast God, then he might die at the hands of the executioner. Is there still any demon race vibe going on? If not, I should be able to take him away. Long Yuan looked at the 3rd ancient ancestor and others and asked. Let him go to the monument to the heroes. The 3rd ancient ancestor said. The monument to heroes is an ancient product that can detect whether someone has the aura of the demon race. Just now he had been watching Long Yuan's attitude towards demon race. It turns out that the other party does not seem to have anything to do with demon race. And the other party and the netherworld hell seem to be in an antagonistic relationship. This is enough to show that the other party is not standing against them. Not long after, Chu Yan was brought back by Wang Zuo. Reporting to the ancient ancestor, there is no demon race aura left on him. Wang Zuo replied. In that case, then take him away. The 3rd ancient ancestor said to Long Yuan. He didn't want to be an enemy. Especially since the other party's aura was still slowly increasing. Even he was not sure he could suppress the other party. But Ji Yuzu, he has been recognized by our Lingshu Grotto Heaven Divine Fire, Kang Tian Shuyan. Do we want him to take the divine fire out as well? Wang Zuo had a bitter face. That is the only sacred fire in their Grotto Heaven. Oh, Long Yuan looked at Chu Yan in surprise. This guy actually got the sacred fire. Not bad, not bad. She is indeed the Chu family's natural-born sacred body. This opportunity is unique. The 3rd ancient ancestor frowned. The sacred fire was actually taken away by the other party. This is a real treasure. It doesn't matter. Since the divine fire recognizes him as its master, it is his destiny. Dear dragon race friend, please come over and have a chat. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. He is the 1st ancient ancestor who is guarding the entrance to the demon cave. The 3rd ancient ancestor said. Long Yuan frowned slightly. Then he smiled and said, since you have invited me, I will not be polite. He wanted to see why the 1st ancient ancestor invited him. Anyway, with his current strength, at least these people can no longer pose any threat to him. Deep in the Grotto Heaven, next to an abyss with a diameter of several thousand meters and covered by a golden light curtain, Long Yuan turned into a human form, sitting cross-legged opposite the 3 old men. One of them is the 3rd ancient ancestor. The other 2 are the 1st and 2nd ancient ancestors. The strength of the 3 is not much different. They are all powerful warriors who are half a step away from the opening heaven realm. All 3 of them were wearing broken armor and looked very weathered. What happened before was all a misunderstanding. Fellow Taoist, please don't blame me. The 1st ancient ancestor said. The voice is very sad. It was as if he hadn't spoken a word for endless years. It doesn't matter. I haven't fought like this for a long time. Today's battle makes me happy both physically and mentally. Long Yuan said calmly. Or maybe it could be said that since I started cheating, I haven't had such a satisfying battle. At least today was the first time he was injured. The three ancient ancestors were all stunned. Then he laughed and said, "Fellow Taoist is really broad-minded." Long Yuan smiled. "I'm just telling the truth." Suddenly, he looked at the abyss covered by the golden light curtain and said, "Is this the entrance to the demon race you mentioned?" "Yes, this is the passage between the demon world and the human world." The first ancient ancestor nodded. "There are 9 passages from the demon world to the human world, located in 9 forbidden areas in the human world. Our 9 forbidden areas are responsible for guarding them. Our 9 forbidden areas are connected, and we have formed a supreme formation to seal the entrance together." Long Yuan suddenly realized. He had felt before that the 9 forbidden areas were vaguely like a large formation. Just not sure. Now it seems to be true. Chapter 124, The Same Front. Is the demon race really so powerful? Does it need so many strong men like you to guard it together? Long Yuan wondered. In Lingshu Grotto Heaven alone, there are 3 people who are half a step into opening heaven, and several people in the infinite realm. This kind of combat power is enough to suppress everything, right? What about other forbidden areas? I'm afraid it won't be much weaker than Lingshu Grotto Heaven. The demon race is so powerful that it is beyond imagination. If there were no formations based on the 9 forbidden areas, we would not be able to guard the entrance. The second ancient ancestor told Long Yuan. Each of the 9 forbidden areas is a great world. It is even more vast than the human world. The formation based on the 9 forbidden areas is equivalent to the formation based on the 9 great worlds. Once a certain entrance starts to have demon race, the power of the 9 great worlds will gather together to form a suppression. Only with the combined strength of these people can we suppress this place. Long Yuan was shocked. Is the demon race so powerful? Use 9 great worlds to suppress the channel. Only with the help of many half-step opening heaven realms can the passage be blocked. But I'm curious, what's so terrifying about the demon race that they're being blocked out of the human world? It's impossible to prevent someone from entering the human world just because of their race. If so, then how come monster race is still living here? Well, because the demon race is bloodthirsty and brutal. The demonic energy they release can not only pollute living beings and turn them into demon race, but once they are demonized, their souls will also be polluted. And that's just one of the reasons. It can also pollute the essence of heaven and earth and various natural treasures, making it impossible for normal human race monster race to absorb and cultivate. So wherever the demon race passes, all lives are destroyed, and they have become the public enemy of other races. The third ancient ancestor explained. Long Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. It turns out that he was still thinking that even if demon race came, it would have nothing to do with him. As long as it does not affect the development of the Chu family, they can do whatever they want. But I didn't expect demon race to have this ability. Can use demonic energy to demonize living beings. Can it even demonize the essence of heaven and earth and the treasures of heaven and earth? This won't do. If they are all demonized, how can the Chu family develop faster then? So, what is the purpose of you telling me so much? Long Yuan asked several people. To be honest, we have the intention of forming an alliance with you. The first ancient ancestor said without hesitation, alliance. Why are you talking about the alliance? Because the 3 of us have a feeling that it won't be long before the demon race breaks the seal and enters the human world. The seal is broken. Long Yuan frowned. Is it because of the attack on the forbidden area by those people from Hell Gate? Is it impossible for the Hell Gate to break in with the means of your forbidden land? I don't know the details, but it's not easy for the Hell Gate to break through our forbidden area. But that feeling shouldn't be wrong. We have suppressed the passage between the 2 worlds for millions of years, and the demon race has long hated us. So if the demon race really breaks through the boundary in the future, we also hope to have an extra helper. With your strength, even including our forbidden land, you are definitely one of the top strong men in the human world, so I hope that you can join hands with us to fight against the demons. The first ancient ancestor said. When their cultivation reaches this level, many feelings don't come out of nowhere. So I'm afraid that genocide may not be far away. According to their guess, once the demon race arrives, the first one will attack their forbidden area. That's why he invited Long Yuan to form an alliance with them. I now have only one goal, which is to cultivate the family I protect into the most powerful force in myriad worlds. Anyone who stands in my way will be killed without mercy. Whether it's the demon race or the netherworld, as long as they block the development of the family I protect, they are my enemy. Long Yuan said in a deep voice. Well, since your excellency has said so, it seems that we are on the same front. The first ancient ancestor smiled and said, although the other party did not agree to form an alliance. But the meaning is clear. Demon race is destined to stand against him. Just having this attitude is enough. After a long time, Long Yuan took Chu Yan away from Lingshu Grotto Heaven. Those traveling together included Yao Lao and Yi Juxin. Things have developed to this point. There is no problem with 1 or 2 people. This god-killing formation is set up at the entrance of Lingshu Grotto Heaven. Even if other strong men of the divine level come here, they will only die. Without the consent of Lingshu Grotto Heaven, one can only rely on luck to get through here. Of course, Long Yuan is an exception. The god-destroying formation couldn't hurt him at all. We were forced into a desperate situation and had no choice but to enter the forbidden area, but I didn't expect that I would be the only one who survived. Yi Juxin sighed and said, why did your sect perish? Long Yuan asked. Because an ancestor couldn't help but break through the martial emperor realm. He was discovered by the Hell Gate, which eventually led to the destruction of the sect. Then your ancestor's luck is really not very good. If he could be patient and wait for decades until now, then he could have a breakthrough openly. Long Yuan sighed and said, but who can predict what will happen in the future? A few days later, Long Yuan and his group returned to Azure Sun City. As for those father-son encounters, he didn't want to get involved in the family reunion. He began to absorb the cultivation rewarded by the system in the Dragon Emperor Palace. Not long after, his cultivation broke through the infinite realm and reached perfection. And the cultivation points rewarded by the system have not been fully absorbed. After a grand dinner, Chu Jingyu and Yi Juxin went into the room to talk and express their longing for each other for so many years. But before we talk, Chu Jingyu went to find Chu Long on purpose. But Chu Yan started wandering around the family. After a few years, he returned to his family again. The huge change left him stunned. If you include me and my mother, then the Chu family now has 10 martial emperors. As for martial saints, there are dozens of them. Except for one, all of Chu Long's wives and concubines are martial saints. My God, how could the Chu family have changed so much in the past few years? Chu Yan was completely shocked. At first, I thought that under the leadership of Beast God, the Chu family would quickly become a large family in the human world. But I didn't expect it to be so fast. I didn't expect that even the martial emperor had so many. How about it? You can't believe it. Chu Tianyang, who was traveling with him, said with a smile. Incredible, really incredible. I never dreamed that the Chu family would develop to this point in such a short period of time. Chu Yan sighed. Haha, you're not the only one. No one would have thought that the Chu family could develop to this point in just a few years. All this is thanks to Beast God. Chu Tianyang said. By the way, where are Chu Zan and the others? Why can't we see any trace of them? They are the Dragon Guards, and they are currently training in the Dragon Emperor Palace. Dragon Guard. That is a faction of our Chu family. Only the strongest members of the Chu family can join it. With your ability, there will definitely be no problem, but you have to wait until the next selection. The two walked along the way. Chu Yan learned a lot about the family. I know about the existence of the Mind Refining Tower and the Time Tower. Although these two towers are amazing, they can indeed be created with the power of Beast God. Chu Yan nodded. In the realm of Beast God, he was not surprised at all that a divine weapon like that could be created. Chapter 125 Your sacred body is a bit bad. If you have the chance, go to the Heart Refining Tower. If you can pass it perfectly, you might get an unexpected surprise. Chu Tianyang said with a smile. Is there anything else in there? Ha ha ha, there are rewards stored in there by Beast God. How can the things Beast God put there be bad? It will definitely shock you. The rewards that Beast God puts in. Chu Yan immediately became interested. And Chu Yan, I'm not trying to hit you, but in our current Chu family, your saint-level physique is quite poor. What? My saint-level physique is a little bit weak. Chu Yan looked at the ancestor in surprise. A saint-level physique is a genius that is the focus of training in any force. The ancestor actually said that Saint Level's physique is a bit poor. Are you kidding? Do you know what my physique is? Chu Tianyang asked with a smile. What a shitty physique you have. Chu Yan really wanted to say this. If the ancestor is a genius, the Chu family wouldn't have been nearly wiped out at that time. Chu Tianyang patted Chu Yan on the shoulder and said with a smile, Ancestor, I have an emperor-level physique. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. The latter's mouth twitched slightly. I thought to myself, I don't trust you. But even an emperor-level physique is not the strongest physique in our Chu family. Ancestor, are you dreaming? What's more, emperor-level physique is not the strongest physique. Chu Yan remembered that when he left, the strongest physique was Chu Xuran's purple thunder body. In addition, my father seems to be a spirit-level golden body. What other physiques are there? You don't believe it. When Chu Feng comes out of seclusion, you can spar with him. Chu Feng. Is that Chu Feng who couldn't even break through to rank 1 martial artist? What do you mean that even the rank 1 martial artist cannot break through? He is the #1 person under the martial emperor of our Chu family. He even has the terrifying fighting power to fight against the martial emperor. You, old ancestor, do you mean that Chu Feng has now become a martial saint? That's right, and the martial emperor isn't far away. What? You didn't lie to me. HMPH, do I need to lie to you, old man? Chu Yan's head was buzzing. Chu Feng has a deep memory. The other party has been as slow as a snail since he started practicing. It's not like your talent suddenly disappears. Chu Feng really has no talent. The ancestor now says that such a person is a martial saint. Why don't I believe it? Forget it, forget it. You will know it naturally after a long time. I am going to enter the Dragon Emperor Palace to practice. Remember to go and train in the Heart Refining Tower. Watching the ancestor disappearing from the scene, Chu Yan touched his chin. With great curiosity, he walked towards the Mind Refining Tower. UB ********D, you must have seduced a lot of women over the years, otherwise why would you do so many weird things? Yi Juxin said angrily as Chu Jingyu undressed. Blushing face. Those poses are simply unspeakable. Madam, please don't wrongly accuse me. I humbly asked a member of the tribe for advice just for you. Chu Jingyu said in an instant. He had asked Chu Long for advice before. The other party taught him a few tricks casually. There are still members of the clan who specialize in researching this kind of thing. As the clan leader, you don't care about it. Aren't you afraid that the family members will be led astray? Why should I care? Ma'am, you don't know, that is an extremely advanced dual cultivation method, even Beast God highly praises it. If it weren't for the fact that I don't have that talent, I would probably have learned that method. You don't have talent in that area. Weren't you quite fierce just now? This has nothing to do with that. Anyway, only that one member of the family has obtained that inheritance, and no one else can practice it. Yi Juxin was very surprised. Even the Beast God highly praises it. It seems to you that this must be a very powerful dual cultivation technique. Get dressed. Chu Jingyu looked pleased. It feels so good to have my wife by my side. I'm going to the Dragon Emperor Palace to practice. You can go to the Heart Refining Tower to train yourself. Maybe there will be some unexpected gains. The essence of heaven and earth here is obviously still rich, enough for Emperor-level masters to practice, so why do we still need to go to that Dragon Emperor Palace? Yi Juxin asked curiously. Because the Dragon Emperor Palace is the residence of the Beast God, the essence of heaven and earth inside is much richer than that of the 9th layer space world. And the most important thing is, if you encounter problems in cultivation that you don't understand, you can always ask Beast God for advice. But Beast God has a rule that no one except me, the ancestors, and the dragon guards can enter, so you can only practice here. It's okay, there's enough space here for me to practice. You should hurry to the Dragon Emperor Palace. As the clan leader, your cultivation cannot be too low. Yi Juxin nodded. Madam, aren't you curious about the changes in our Chu family over the years? Chu Jingyu asked doubtfully. When she came here, the Chu family was just a small declining family. With such a huge contrast, she doesn't seem to be confused. If you had seen the true power of Beast God, you wouldn't be surprised by his methods. Have you seen the true power of Beast God? Chu Jingyu was surprised. I have seen it. In the Forbidden Area, Beast God fought with several of the most powerful ancient ancestors in the Forbidden Area to save Xiaoyan. That scene was really like the destruction of the world. Even though some time has passed. Every time Yi Juxin thinks back on it, she is shocked. Ah, Beast God really worries about our Chu family. His kindness to us is so great that I don't know how to repay him. Chu Jingyu sighed. Beast God is extremely powerful. And I have always only contributed to my family. He never asked for anything in return. Chu Jingyu really couldn't think of any way to repay Beast God. Certainly. If he knew that Long Yuan would receive a reward every time the Chu family completed a system task. Maybe I wouldn't feel so conflicted. System, open the Properties panel. Host, Long Yuan. Race, Yin Yang Dragon. Realm Cultivation, half step into opening heaven. Physical Cultivation, perfection of domination realm. Current task, train an emperor-level alchemist for the Guardian family. Quest reward, 10,000 years of cultivation, 50 mirror-breaking pills, can break through any realm below martial god, 3 divine-level physical essences, 3 emperor-level martial soul essences, divine-level alchemist inheritance, divine-level flame, chaos heavenly fire. Guardian family level, 9 stars, hosts cultivation speed increases 90 times. The system reward for the new task was not very generous. With only 10,000 years of cultivation. Even with the blessing of his family's rank, he has only been practicing for 900,000 years. 900,000 years of cultivation is nothing to Long Yuan, who is now halfway to the opening heaven realm. It is possible that even after absorbing it, one cannot break through to the opening heaven realm. Maybe it's because this task is not too difficult. The rewards for the Chu family are quite generous: mirror-breaking pill, divine-level physique, martial soul origin, divine-level alchemist heritage, divine-level flame. Now we are rewarding divine-level physique and martial spirit. In the future, countless divine-level physiques and divine-level martial spirit masters will appear. I wonder if they will scare the shit out of everyone in the human world. Chapter 126, Chu Yan's shock. Thinking about it, Long Yuan is looking forward to it. Moreover, the highest level of physical fitness awarded by the system is not divine level, but the supreme physique. For example, the Eyes of God, awarded before. So is there a possibility? In the future, the Chu family will have groups of powerful people with supreme physique. Tisk tisk tisk. If that's true, it would be truly eye-popping. When a divine-level physique reaches the infinite realm, the effect on one's own combat power is minimal. Only those with strong divine-level physique will still be effective, but the effect will be much reduced. Just like Chu Feng's Chaos Divine Body can fight across borders at this level. But once you reach the boundless realm and can remain invincible in the same realm, it is already amazing. It's not that my physique gets weaker as my cultivation level improves. But in the high realm, the gap between each small realm is too big. Like a natural chasm, physical fitness can no longer make up for the gap. As for the supreme physique, it can still play a greater role. The supreme constitution is also known as the taboo constitution. It has a very high ceiling. I don't know who will get the Eye of Heaven that was awarded earlier. Long Yuan's own blood strength has surpassed the supreme physique. There is no need to integrate other physiques. But there is no doubt that whoever gets the Eye of God, the final achievement will reach an incredible level. Half a month later, Chu Yan walked out of the Refining Heart Tower with a shocked look on his face. Feeling my own body, he looked extremely horrified. My 9-Sun sacred body has actually been upgraded to the 9-Sun Emperor body. It's not like he doesn't know about improving physical fitness. But it is said that only a very small number of people can improve their physical fitness under certain special circumstances. And most importantly, only low-level physique can be improved. He had never heard that saint-level physical fitness could be improved. I never thought that there would be such a heaven-defying treasure in the Refining Heart Tower. As expected of a beast god, Chu Yan was really shocked. Wait, if that's the case, then wouldn't my father and Chu Xuran's physical fitness have improved? Thinking of this, his heart was suddenly shocked. He wondered if what the ancestor said before about his already having an emperor-level physique was true. Just then, a rough voice suddenly sounded. Haha, Chu Yan, you are finally back. Chu Zan, Chu Long and other young people came out after hearing that Chu Yan was coming back. After all, there were only so many young people in their generation at that time. We are very familiar with each other. You all became martial saints and martial emperors. Chu Yan widened his eyes. Then he looked at Chu Feng, his pupils suddenly shrank. You are actually the martial emperor. Before, the ancestor said that the other party was the number one person under the martial emperor of their Chu family, but he didn't believe it. I didn't expect that I have already broken through martial emperor. Is it so easy to break through the martial emperor? Chu Feng smiled and said, I was given a mirror-breaking pill by Beast God, and I just broke through to martial emperor. But you were able to break through the martial emperor realm so quickly. They were able to break through the martial emperor because of the Tower of Ages. But Chu Yan becoming the martial emperor shocked them even more. Mirror-breaking pill. Oh my god, why does it feel like Beast God has all kinds of good stuff? The kung fu I practice is very special. I need to constantly absorb the powerful strange fire to rapidly increase my skills. Chu Yan said, looking at these people in front of me. The shock in his heart was beyond words. Many of them were mediocre when they left. But now even Chu Feng, who used to have very poor talent, has become a martial emperor. Moreover, the aura of the other party made him feel very oppressive. You have a divine level physique. Chu Yan finally couldn't help but ask when he remembered the ancestor's words. It's just a half-crippled divine level physique, not yet completely perfect. Chu Feng said calmly. Chu Zan put his arm around Chu Yan's shoulders and said, don't underestimate his physique. It's not perfect yet. His fighting power is really terrifying. When I was a martial saint, I could fight a Tai with me when I was a martial emperor. My current fighting power is even more terrifying. I estimate that among all the martial emperors in our Chu family, the only ones who can match him in terms of combat power are probably Chu Shiren and Chu Yunling. Chaos Divine Body is the top divine level physique. The bonus to combat power is naturally extremely terrifying. Although Chu Feng's divine level physique has not yet been perfected. But perfection is not far away. Xu Ran and the others also have divine level physiques. Chu Yan was shocked. Unbelievable asked. No, they're not. Shiren is now at the saint level, and Yunling is already at the emperor level. However, Xu Ran created a divine ability that is truly invincible. Even the beast god was alarmed when he used the divine ability. Yunling is a beastmaster and a martial emperor. The two spirit beasts are not only monster emperors, but also have the blood of divine beasts. Their combat power is terrifying and boundless. After hearing these words, Chu Yan was completely stunned. It turns out that what the ancestors said was true. In today's Chu family, saint-level physique is really nothing. There are also emperor-level and divine-level physiques. Let's go, let's go. Long time no see. This time, we must fight to our heart's content no matter what. Chu Zan hooked Chu Yan's shoulders. Pull him towards the training ground. Even though he has become the martial emperor, his bellicosity remained unchanged. Why didn't Xu Ran come? Chu Yan asked. He wanted to see how powerful the divine ability that even the beast god admired was. After that guy created his own divine ability, beast god gave him a dragon scale. Now he is trying to comprehend his own divine ability. Chu Zan said, if it is just ordinary practice, it doesn't matter. But even if they were comprehending the divine ability, they could not disturb each other casually. Not long after, a powerful battle broke out in the martial arts arena. Chu Yan's 3 heaven-level strange fires bloomed. The scorching temperature melted the space. He did not use the blue sky void flame, because the power of the divine fire was too great. Even several ancient ancestors of the grotto heaven were burned. The martial emperor would probably be burned to nothingness in an instant. The competition between people from the same tribe is not that serious. Chu Yan, be careful, I'm about to use my strongest divine ability. Chu Zan growled. The Hong fist of the 8-character magic fist burst out. The dazzling fist mark came across the sky like a sacred mountain. What a terrifying boxing technique! Chu Yan exclaimed. I didn't keep it now. Zui Heavenly Fire, Juyu Heavenly Demon Fire, Gold Emperor Heaven Incinerating Flame, the 3 heavenly fires merged and turned into a 3-color lotus. Take my, Buddha's wrathful fire lotus. Boom. There was a loud bang. The fist and lotus exploded. A brilliant and dazzling light burst out, lighting up this martial arts arena. The terrifying energy rolled back and rushed towards Chu Yan and Chu Zan. Puff. Chu Zan spat out a mouthful of blood. Chu Yan staggered back several steps, and the blood in his body was surging. But at this moment, Chu Yan sat cross-legged on the ground. His eyes were tightly closed. He has some realization. Chu Zan and others were surprised. On the other side of the martial arts arena, Yao Lao and Yi Juxin also watched the normal battle. The Chu family has truly risen. Looking at so many young martial emperors and martial saints, Yao Lao sighed. Chapter 127 I am Emperor Yan. However, Yi Juxin also shook her head and said, compared to the human world, it may indeed have risen. But don't forget that there are forbidden areas. There are so many powerful people in the forbidden area, even martial gods are not rare. In comparison, the Chu family's foundation is still far from enough. If we put aside the incomparable beast god, the distance between the Chu family and the forbidden area is a huge one. But at least this is unprecedented. But what a pity. The young master only has the first volume of the Nine Heavens Burning Fire art, and at most can only be cultivated to the martial emperor realm. If the middle and lower volumes can be found, the young master's future achievements will be unimaginable even to us. Yao Lao looked at Chu Yan who was sitting cross-legged there and sighed. There is no doubt that this method of absorbing strange fire is an extremely suitable method of cultivation for Chu Yan. Master Yao, where did you get this technique from? Yi Juxin asked. Immortal Sea of Fire. What? That deadly place? Yes, I went to that place in search of strange fire, and I found this technique on a stone tablet in the Sea of Undead Fire. If it's that area, it will be troublesome. Yi Juxin sighed. Although the Undead Sea of Fire is not a forbidden area, it is also extremely terrifying. The body of the person who enters will not die. However, the fire spirit inside will invade the body and turn him into an immortal fire man. It is said that even the martial emperor of Hell's Gate fell in it. But I think with the young master's strength he should be able to go out and explore. After all, he is the one who controls the divine fire. The fighting power is beyond our imagination. Yi Juxin frowned. That place is too dangerous. If something happened to Chu Yan before, a great battle with Chu Yan fell into enlightenment. In fact, in the few years before returning to the Chu family, he had experienced hundreds of battles. Although the heavenly fire given by the beast god saved his life, but not in life and death crisis, he never used heavenly fire. Because he was worried that it would attract the martial emperor, the gate of hell. Suddenly his eyes opened. There was a fire in his eyes. Then a blue flame rose from between his eyebrows. It is the divine fire, the void flame of the sky. Chu Zan and others who were standing not far away to protect him suddenly changed their expressions. When the divine fire appeared, they actually felt creepy. What the hell, what kind of flame is this? Chu Zan was shocked. He could clearly feel that he would have no power to resist under this fire. In the name of Emperor Yan, with the divine fire as my guide, I command the heavenly fire to return to its place on earth. Chu Yan shouted loudly. Its sound is like thunder, resounding between heaven and earth. When his voice came out, 6 different colored heavenly fires burst into the sky from various locations in the human world. 3 of them flew over from 3 directions in the human world. However, the strange sight soaring into the sky alarmed the martial emperor who was patrolling the Hell Gate. When strange fire was discovered, some martial emperors not far from strange fire suddenly attacked, heading towards strange fire to suppress it. Because even for the martial emperor, heaven-level strange fire is also a rare treasure. If you can subdue it, it will definitely enhance your own combat effectiveness. The other 3 are located in the gates of hell. Huh, what happened? The first sect master, Wu Fu, looked at the strange fire in his hand in amazement. This is a strange fire in the shape of a sphere with flames burning and little starlight blooming. Heavenly Star Flame, ranked 9th among the heavenly fires. However, at this moment he actually realized that the strange fire, Sky Star Flame, in his hand seemed to be out of his control and flying away. How could this change happen? I have already refined the heavenly star flame. As he was horrified, Tianxingyan suddenly broke away from his palm and flew out of the gate of hell. At the same time, the two heavenly fires refined by the other two martial emperors also broke away from their control and flew towards the sky. This shocked several people. Can something that has been refined still run away? Chase. I want to find out who is behind this. The first sect leader Wu Fu was furious. He took several martial emperors and chased in the direction heavenly fire flew. The only person in the human world who can perform such a method is probably the powerful beast god of the Chu family, right? Some powerful men from the netherworld who were guarding the Hell Gate said in a deep voice. The martial emperor shouldn't have such means. Damn it, that Chu family beast god is really getting more and more outrageous. When will the strong men from my saint realm come over? Why are you in such a hurry? You know that the stronger a person is, the more difficult it will be for him to descend into the human world. Didn't Senior Bei Weng say that the strong man who is descending this time is here to deal with the Forbidden Land? And there is a being who is half a step into the opening heaven realm in the Forbidden area. Hiss. Do you mean that someone who is half a step into the opening heaven realm will descend from the holy realm? 9 times out of 10 it's correct. We just need to wait quietly. Of course, if you want to die, you can try the bottom line of the Chu family's beast god. No one dared to move. If the opponent's strength is not much different from theirs, they don't mind fighting each other. But the other party is in the realm of immortality. He is even more terrifying than Senior Bei Weng. If they go there they will be seeking death. Let these martial emperors test the bottom line of the beast god first. If the martial emperor takes action and the beast god does not take action, it means that the other party will not interfere in the battle between emperor levels. Then I, the Hell Gate martial emperor, can take action to surround and kill the Chu family in the future. If you are stronger than an emperor level, the combined spit of each of their Hell Gate martial emperors is enough to drown the other. The accumulation over endless years is not just talk. Good. The others nodded. It would be a good idea to let martial emperor test the waters. It doesn't matter if you die. Wu Fu and others followed heavenly fire all the way. They didn't stop until they were about to reach the 7 areas controlled by the Chu family. Puff. Sudden. A mouthful of blood spurted out of Wu Fu-san's mouth. He was horrified and said, the other party cut off the connection between us and heavenly fire. The Chu family, it must be the Chu family. It must be their beast god who used some trickery to deprive me of the heavenly fire I'm waiting for. How shameless. A powerful immortal actually snatched treasures from us martial emperors. The Holy Sun martial emperor who came with Wu Fu cursed angrily. His heavenly fire was also taken away. Isn't this equivalent to an adult snatching snacks from a group of children? That's so unethical. Wu Fu's face turned extremely pale. I never thought that there would be a day when my opportunity would be snatched away by someone else. It was me who stole your heavenly fire. While everyone was cursing, a figure burning with blazing flames walked towards them step by step from afar. He takes one step and it is thousands of miles away. In a moment, they were already tens of thousands meters away from Wu Fu and the others. Behind him, 9 heavenly fires floated in the air, forming a circle. Even though we are thousands of meters apart, the scorching heat burned the skin of many martial emperors red, causing unbearable pain. You, who are you? Wu Fu frowned. The aura of the other party was somewhat terrifying. I can't even figure it out. I am Emperor Yan. Chu Yan replied. Are you the martial emperor of the Chu family? Wu Fu asked. If it was the Chu family's martial emperor, they wouldn't dare to act rashly. It would be terrible if the beast god slaps us with his claws. However, according to the intelligence gathered by the Hell Gate, there seems to be no such person among the Chu family's martial emperors. Chapter 128 You can't do it. I just heard that your Hell Gate has lost control of the human world, so I tried to break through the martial emperor. Before coming, Chu Zan and others also told him the details of the Chu family and the human world. So Chu Yan did not say that he was from the Chu family. It is to let those people in the human world who want to break through the martial emperor know that the Hell Gate has indeed lost its control over the human world, and more people have begun to break through the martial emperor. So as to guide everyone to break through the emperor realm. Your Excellency's strength is extraordinary. I'm afraid you have already broken through the martial emperor for some time, right? How about joining our Hell's Gate? It's much better than wandering around alone. Takefishi said sincerely. If it was just an ordinary martial emperor. He was too lazy to talk nonsense and just wanted to kill him directly. But the other party's breath made him feel terrified. If you don't do it well, you are no match for the other party. So the best way is to invite the other party to join. If I could exchange a few heavenly fires for such a strong man, that would be great. Wrong, he was indeed only at the early stage of martial emperor before, but after absorbing and fusing these heavenly fires, his strength has improved by leaps and bounds. Come to think of it, I have to thank you for sending heavenly fire to my door. As for joining Hell's Gate, ha ha ha, stop joking. The glorious days when you, the Hell Gate, dominated the human world will become a thing of the past. In this era, the Hell Gate is destined to be overthrown. What am I doing following you? Am I looking for death? Chu Yan laughed loudly. He doesn't take the Gate of Hell seriously at all. I think you're looking for death. The Holy Sun Martial Emperor was furious. Their Hell Gate is so powerful and has such a strong background. Who can match? Who can overthrow them? A golden sun slowly emerged behind him, and a terrifying aura suddenly filled the air. Then he rushed towards Chu Yan. This is the saint-level shining sun martial spirit. Then let's fight. Chu Yan's whole body was burning with raging flames. 9 heavenly fires are suspended behind him. The power that erupts is enough to burn the sky and boil the sea. Fire Fist. No extra words. The first move is a killing move. Flames were swirling around the fist, and scorching heat was sweeping around. Danichi Taiken. The Holy Sun Martial Emperor was not to be outdone. The light shining from the fist was like a golden sun. Boom! The two men's fists collided instantly. Golden light filled the air, fire shot up into the sky. The terrifying energy rushed straight to the sky. It seems to be destroying the world. At the moment of fighting, 9 heavenly fires swept towards the Holy Sun Martial Emperor, causing him to scream miserably. He was actually burned by the heavenly fire. The figure retreated tens of thousands of meters. The Holy Sun Martial Emperor staggered and regained his balance. He is miserable at this moment. One arm was completely blown up, and there was flames on his clothes. His previously thick hair had now become bald and smoking, and his skin was burnt black. Is this the effect of the 9 heavenly fires coming together? The Holy Sun Martial Emperor was horrified. That terrifying power cannot be stopped even by the perfect Martial Emperor. You can't. Chu Yan sneered. The figure disappeared in an instant. Kill towards the Holy Sun Martial Emperor. But at this time, the martial emperors such as Wu Fu around him had also taken action, and the energy in their bodies exploded to besiege Chu Yan. If I could control the 9 heavenly fires, I could kill you just as easily as butchering a dog. The Holy Sun Martial Emperor shouted angrily. The most frustrating thing for a man is to be told, no. I am here, and the 9 heavenly fires are also here. Come and take them if you are brave enough. Chu Yan waved his fists. The fists of Takefishi and other martial emperors collided. With each blow, space shattered and the heaven and earth hummed. The powerful force strikes the sky directly, even facing the siege of several martial emperors. He was not afraid at all. The figure moves. Wave your fists. The imperial light exploded. Flames burned the sky. During the battle, several figures flew up into the starry sky and fought fiercely in the starry sky. Not long after, the Holy Sun Martial Emperor has almost recovered from his injuries. The blasted arm was restored. With a long roar, he jumped up and killed him. Chuzan and other emperor-level warriors looked at Chu Yan who was fighting fiercely in the starry sky. They were not worried about Chu Yan at all. After all, the other party has the divine fire. When the divine fire appears, what martial emperor is all gray? You just told him the origin of the 9 heavens burning fire art. He won't take this opportunity to attack the undying sea of fire, will he? Yi Juxin said worriedly. Based on my understanding of the young master, he might really go. But I don't think this is a bad thing. This technique is very suitable for the young master. If he were to practice other techniques, the effect would probably be far inferior to the 9 heavens burning fire technique. In the past, the martial emperor was the end of the human world, But now with the existence of the beast god, the Chu family's training environment is no less than those forbidden areas. With the young master's qualifications, he must pursue immortality. How can a person who pursues the great Tao of immortality be afraid of such a difficulty? Although Yao Lao's cultivation is only at the saint realm level. But his vision is longer term than Yi Juxin's. Oh, I just hope he's safe. Elsewhere, many martial saints also noticed this great battle. Has someone else broken through the martial emperor? Who is this person? How could he mobilize so many martial emperors to take action together? Shit, I get it. These people must have quietly broken through the martial emperor a long time ago, otherwise they wouldn't be so strong. Damn it, I can't take it anymore. If I don't make a breakthrough, I may not be able to keep up with the pace of the times. But recently I have discovered a problem, that is, the Hellgate martial emperor dare not enter the 7 major areas controlled by the Chu family. You mean to break through into the Chu family's sphere of influence? Quote. Many martial saint masters were discussing this secretly. The constant appearance of martial emperors made many martial saints unable to hold back. As some people say, if it's too late, we will really fall behind the times. Everyone's thoughts began to race. And in the extreme profundities gate in the extreme profundities domain near the dragon domain. Several martial saints also gathered in the secret room to discuss countermeasures. Lu Chen said, I got a secret message that the monster saint ancestors of Longyu Tianlong Yuan have already broken through to the monster emperor realm. What? Are you serious? The other ancestors were all shocked. Have those old guys broken through the monster emperor? Are they so courageous? Aren't you afraid that the Hellgate will wipe them out? It's not that they are brave, but they have already joined the Chu family in Qianyu. With the Chu family as their backer, they are not afraid of the Hellgate. I even got news that a Hellgate martial emperor had come to trouble them, but was quietly wiped out in Tianlong Yuan, and one of them was the Chu family martial emperor. Several ancestors looked at each other in shock. Asked Lu Chen, do you mean to join the Chu family? Lu Chen nodded, this is the safest method. Another method is to quietly break into the Chu family's sphere of influence. In this way, the Hellgate will not dare to cause trouble. Wait until your realm is stable and suppress your aura before coming out. But we don't know if the Chu family would mind if we try to break through in their sphere of influence, so the safest thing to do is to join them directly. This way, not only can we break through openly near the Chu family, but after we succeed, the Hellgate won't dare to do anything to us. Everyone, what do you think? Lu Chen asked the others. Wouldn't it be risky to break through now? An old ancestor said worriedly. Oh, what adventure. Didn't you see that someone has already reached the martial emperor perfection? If we are slow, we will be trampled underfoot by others in the future. There were also ancestors who agreed with Lu Chen's proposal. Chapter 129 Divine Weapon, the first sect leader fell. Finally, after joint discussions among several ancestors, decided to go to Tianlong Yuan to check it out first. Let's see what attitude the Chu family has towards these surrendered forces. If the attitude is too overbearing or tough, at worst, I can just wait for a while to break through martial emperor. The battle in the starry sky continues. Boom. The body of the Holy Sun martial emperor exploded. He was punched by Chu Yan and his body exploded. The soul was completely annihilated. Wu Fu and the others were so angry that their eyes were red with anger. The other party actually killed the Holy Sun martial emperor under the siege of several of their martial emperors. What's even more terrifying is that we have been fighting for so long. The other party was not hurt at all. On the other hand, the Holy Sun martial emperor fell. Their bodies were covered with burns. 9 heavenly fires gathered together. The power is really extraordinary. Ha ha ha, you Hellgate martial emperors are really no good. Chu Yan laughed. The sound was like thunder, resounding through the 9 heavens. Kill you. Wu Fu was furious, his burnt hair flying wildly. The imperial weapon emerges. A lifelike dark golden dragon hovered above his head, baring its fangs and roaring. Dive down. Kill Chu Yan. Is this a dragon? No, there is no breath of life. Chu Yan was shocked. Because this dragon is exactly the same as the beast god. He thought it was the real dragon race. Watching the dragon swooping down, Chu Yan swung his flaming imperial fist to meet him. Seeing this scene, Wu Fu showed a sinister smile. He who is ignorant is not afraid. The Imperial Fist and the Golden Dragon collided. There was a loud bang. Chu Yan's entire arm was completely blown apart by the Golden Dragon. Is this a divine weapon? There was surprise in his voice. Looking at the Golden Dragon in front of him in disbelief. Haha, yes, this is indeed the divine weapon. This is a weapon that was refined by my predecessor from the corpse of a real dragon in ancient times. As the eternal ruler of the human world, you don't really think that my Hell Gate has no background, do you? Wu Fu sneered. This is the divine weapon that only the first leader of the Hell Gate can master. It has been rarely used since ancient times. I'll give you two choices. Either join my Hell Gate or die. Wu Fu said in a deep voice. Chu Yan sneered. Being able to control divine weapon, this means that your status in Hell Gate should be very high, right? HMPH, to tell you the truth, I am the #1 leader of Hell's Gate. You can also think of me as the highest authority of Hell's Gate in the human world. Being personally invited by me is an honor that many people dream of. And with your strength, it is not impossible for you to become the leader of our Hell Gate in the future. Hearing this, Chu Yan burst into laughter. His eyes suddenly lit up. We have encountered a big fish. If you, the first sect leader, die, it will shock the world. After the words fell, a white flame emerged from between his brows. The terrifying high temperature instantly made the surrounding starry sky boil. It was the sacred fire obtained from the grotto heaven, the sky void flame. And it can unleash the full power of the divine fire. This is. Wu Fu's expression suddenly changed. Why is the aura of the other party very similar to those of the martial god strongman from the Holy Realm? Impossible, how could such a being appear in the human world? Wu Fu roared. He didn't believe that so many martial gods would appear in the human world. He immediately controlled the golden dragon and killed it. The sky's flames erupted like a volcano, transformed into a huge spherical barrier. In an instant, Wu Fu and several other martial emperors were enveloped in it. I'm really lucky today, I actually got to meet the #1 leader of Hell Gate. Chu Yan walked forward. The range of the Kangtian Shu Yan's barrier is gradually shrinking. A martial emperor wielded the emperor weapon and slashed at the barrier. As a result, at the moment of contact, the martial emperor and emperor weapon didn't even have the chance to scream before they instantly disappeared into thin air. This scene frightened the other martial emperors. A martial emperor was gone in an instant. At this moment, the remaining martial emperors involuntarily moved closer to Wu Fu. Perhaps the only one who can save them now is the first sect master holding the divine weapon. Watching the golden dragon roaring towards us with boundless power, Chu Yan's eyes became sharp. Kangtian Shu Yan also immediately turned into a fire dragon and rushed over. Divine weapon only. One's own divine fire is not indestructible. But just as I got close, the fire dragon suddenly changed. It transformed into 3 white fire rings and encased the golden dragon. Because Chu Yan thought, I don't seem to have a spirit weapon yet. This golden dragon divine weapon seems to be a good choice. The divine fire is very powerful. Even though the divine weapon was made from the corpse of a real dragon, it showed signs of melting the moment it was covered. This made Wu Fu and the others gasp. His face turned pale. Even divine weapon couldn't defeat the opponent. Holy Envoy, help me. Realizing that he had no chance of winning, Wu Fu directly started the mode of shaking people. I hope someone from the Holy Envoy guarding the Gate of Hell can take action. Really. The next moment someone took action. That was a powerful person in the realm of immortality. The big hand tore the void. He grabbed towards the sky void flame. However, the other party's main purpose is to come for the divine fire. You want to save someone from my hands. You're dreaming. Chu Yan snorted coldly. The white flames instantly swept over like waves, drowning Wu Fu and his companions amid their screams of terror. Court death. There was a roar of anger. The immortal realm's strongman was angry. Even though he took action himself, the first sect leader was still killed. Where do you want to save your face? However, facing the giant hand that covered the sky and slapped down, Chu Yan was not afraid at all. He controlled the sky void flame and transformed it into a fire dragon and rushed towards the opponent. Boom! The white fire dragon collided with the giant hand. Powerful energy impacted in all directions. Ah! A scream sounded out of nowhere. The giant hand was actually burned to ashes. The reason why Chu Yan is so confident is, this is because the aura of the person who made the move was much weaker than the ancient ancestors in the domination realm who had fought in Lingshu Grotto Heaven. The divine fire can burn even the master realm. Not to mention those who are much weaker than the domination realm. Humph. I will slowly settle the score with you after I come out of the sea of immortal fire. Chu Yan snorted coldly. Then he shouted towards the human world below, the first leader of Hellgate is dead, Hellgate must be destroyed. The sound he shouted turned into a wave of air and spread to the human world below. The sound rang like thunder in the ears of many powerful men. It made many people change color. The first leader of Hellgate is dead. Chu Yan's battle in the starry sky attracted the attention of many people. Plus his loud shout at this moment. It completely set the world on fire. This era will see great changes, we must break through the martial emperor. Otherwise, we will just be forgotten by the crowd. Many old antiques began to go into seclusion, prepared to impact the martial emperor realm. Many martial saints in the human world have accumulated countless years of experience in this realm and are fully capable of impacting the martial emperor realm. It's just that I'm oppressed and dare not break through. Now many people see the opportunity. I feel like I can't wait any longer. I don't want to wait any longer. The deeper the oppression, the more intense the resistance. The Chu family opened a gap for these people. Just let those martial artists who have been suppressing this find a way out. Chapter 130 Emperor Level Alchemist. Well done. Chu family. Chu Zan and others cheered as they watched the scene. I want to have a big fight with those martial emperors of Hellgate. Chu Zan is ready to fight. The battle in the starry sky made his blood boil. I want to go too. Chu Zhenan said. His desperate battle sacred body was originally designed to break through faster in battle. But the problem is that there are too many martial emperors in Hellgate. Once besieged by the powerful martial emperor, then there might not even be a chance to survive. Except for a few strong men in their Chu family. The chances of others surviving the siege are too slim. At this time, Chu Jingyu appeared. Go if you want to. He took out a stack of talismans. This is the Martial Emperor Perfection level talisman that Beast God stole from the Hell Gate. Each of you should carry a few of them. If you encounter danger, use them decisively. Hearing this, everyone was delighted. Most of the Chu family's martial emperors are in the early stages of martial emperor. It's still a long way from a successful battle with the martial emperor. Afterwards, Chu Zan, Chu Zhenan and others rushed to the outside of the 7 regions controlled by the Chu family. Only then can you meet the Hellgate martial emperor. Huh, Yun Ling didn't come. Her strength should be unrivaled in the martial emperor realm. Chu Zan asked doubtfully. And the other party should also like fighting. After Chu Yan merged several heavenly fires, she entered the heart refining tower to train. She must have felt the strength of Chu Yan. Chu Zhenan said, "You're so strong yet you're still working so hard." No matter what, I have to kill a few more Hellgate martial emperors this time. ... Starry sky. Chu Yan sat cross-legged there. Start to use the divine fire to refine the golden dragon divine weapon again. This divine weapon had already developed intelligence, but was destroyed by Chu Yan. After all, the Hellgate had been in the process of cultivation for who knows how many years, and had already been branded with the opponent's mark. If they betray us during the battle. But it's a very scary thing. To be on the safe side. He directly used the divine fire to wipe out the spiritual intelligence in it. After a while, a golden dragon about several meters long hovered above Chu Yan's head, emitting dazzling golden light. A very good divine weapon, the kind that can attack and defend at the same time. Chu Yan was very satisfied. Moreover, he planned to directly sacrifice this golden dragon and refine it into his own spirit weapon. Wait, the golden dragon is a dragon race, and the beast god is also a dragon race. Isn't it a bit inappropriate to directly sacrifice it as a life spirit weapon? Let's wait until next time we return to the family and see what beast god thinks. Chu Yan wondered if directly refining his lifelong spirit weapon would be a bit offensive to the beast god. Put away the golden dragon. Chu Yan flew towards the sea of immortal fire. The sea of Immortal fire is at the end of the human world. Further ahead is the endless sea of chaos. Arriving at the edge of the sea of immortal fire. When Chu Yan appeared here, there were actually quite a few martial artists who practiced fire-based techniques staying here. After some inquiries, I learned that in a few days, the tide of the sea of immortal fire will recede. When the tide of the undead sea of fire recedes, it is also the time when the power of the undead sea of fire is at its weakest. At that time, the danger of entering will be much lower. Someone told Chu Yan. The latter nodded. Yao Lao had told him this at that time. When the tide goes out, the immortals in the sea of fire will retreat. The danger will be greatly reduced. Although I have the divine fire in my hand, I still shouldn't take any risks. Chu Yan opened up a space to practice alchemy. In the past few years of working abroad, Yao Lao gave him his alchemy technique without reservation. With my current strength, I should be able to refine emperor-level pills. The reason why he was able to break through so quickly. In addition to the special skills, he can also refine pills by himself. Take out the collected materials in the alchemy furnace. Chu Yan began to refine it. Ding, congratulations to the host for training an emperor-level alchemist for the Guardian family. Mission rewards: 10,000 years of cultivation, 50 mirror-breaking pills can break through any realm below martial god, 3 divine-level physical essences, 3 divine-level martial soul essences, divine-level alchemist inheritance, divine-level flame, chaos heavenly fire. While Long Yuan was resting, the system's voice suddenly rang in his mind. Did Chu Luli break through to emperor-level alchemist? Long Yuan was delighted. The divine consciousness probed into the Tower of Time. Then things started to get weird. Isn't this the emperor-level alchemist that Chu Liang broke through to? Is there any other more powerful alchemist in the Chu family? But he searched the entire Chu family and couldn't find out who that person was. Forget it, as long as the mission is completed. Long Yuan decisively accepted the system reward. Put those divine-level physiques and martial soul essences into the heart-refining tower. He himself began to absorb the 10,000 years of cultivation rewarded by the system. The rewards the system gave to the Chu family were very tempting. But Long Yuan didn't take it seriously at all. He didn't even bother to look at a treasure like Chaos Heavenly Fire. He had seen clearly the battle between Chu Yan and the other party before. After completely absorbing the 9 heavenly fires, his strength has reached the perfection of Martial Emperor. Even slightly beyond that, if the opponent does not use divine weapon, there should be no one in the Martial Emperor realm who can stop him. Chu Yan's skills are very unique. After absorbing the strange fire, his skills improved very quickly. If he absorbs the divine fire, I wonder if he can improve to the divine level. It seems that it is better to leave Chaos Heavenly Fire to him. Kang Tian Chu Yan just recognized Chu Yan as his master. It was not refined. Therefore, there was no significant improvement in cultivation. But there is also divine fire in the immortal sea of fire he is going to. It depends on whether he can conquer it. Long Yuan had already seen the situation in the sea of immortal fire. And I know what opportunities and dangers there are. But it is also necessary to give the Chu family some training. It seems that Chu Yan may be the first person to break through the martial god realm. He used to think that Chu Long would be the first to break through. But now it seems that Chu Yan has a greater chance of breaking through first. At the same time, outside the 7 regions controlled by the Chu family, Chu Zan, Chu Zhenan and others have been fighting with the Martial Emperor of Hellgate. The Chu family is a traitor, die. The Hellgate Martial Emperor roared. Crazy shot. Want to kill Chu Zan. Although the first leader died. But it does not affect the operation of the Hellgate at all. Anyway, they have more than one Martial Emperor. Ha ha ha, our beast god said that if you are at the same level as us and can kill us, he will never interfere. Chu Zan laughed loudly. Provoke the other party. Today I will kill you all and let those people in the human world see the power of Hellgate. A powerful warrior in the early stage of Martial Emperor rushed towards Chu Zan with an imperial weapon in hand. With the other party's words, the trace of worry in his heart also disappeared. A terrible battle broke out. The powerful energy rushes straight into the sky. The clanging sound of the collision was deafening. Chu Zan's fists burst into dazzling imperial light like dragons. Unlike the people of the tribe, now Chu Zan seems to have completely unlocked himself. The golden Vajra untouched by evil body, which evolved from the King Kong battle body, was pushed to the extreme by Chu Zan. Golden runes appeared on the golden skin. The power unleashed by each strike is beyond imagination. On the other side, Chu Zhenan also fought with a martial emperor in the early stages. His desperate battle sacred body requires continuous fighting to break through quickly. Now it suits his taste. Chapter 131 The Saint Realm Master arrives. At the Hell Gate headquarters in the Heaven Realm. Many people were also watching Chu Zan and their fight. The beast god of the Chu family didn't take action. It seems that he also agreed to the battle between the martial emperors. In that case, let's increase our forces. If you can't kill their beast god, then killing the Chu family's martial emperor will be fine. A powerful person in the realm of immortality said. Recently, the prestige of Hell Gate has dropped to its lowest point in history. Several martial emperors must be killed to suppress the restless people's hearts. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark comma. Lu Chen and others from extreme profundities have arrived. They wanted to attach themselves to the Chu family, and an elder met them. Nowadays, not everyone can see the patriarch if they want to. After all, that was the martial emperor. It is no longer as humble as the previous martial warrior and martial master. For affiliated forces, the Chu family does not care about anything else except collecting some jingxi every year. Of course, if you encounter a situation where the other party asks for help, you have to help. After all, you have received a benefit from the other party. If you are worried about the Hell Gate, then break through in the Qian territory. Even the Hell Gate martial emperor doesn't dare to come in here. The elder in charge of reception said. These words made Lu Chen and the others happy. Can break through here. Naturally it is foolproof. A few days later, Chu Yunling who entered the heart refining tower came out. It's just a little regretful. Instead of getting the physical evolution pill, he got a mirror breaking pill. Not bad, my fire scale beast can break through to monster emperor. The fire Kirin beast has the blood of the Kirin. This is also a powerful existence comparable to the divine level physique of humans. Once you break through the monster emperor, the strength is naturally extremely powerful. But just as he was about to go to the battlefield between the Chu family and Hell Gate, Long Yuan stopped her. I wonder what beast god wants me to do. In the Dragon Emperor Palace, Chu Yunling stood respectfully in front of Long Yuan. A drop of brilliant golden blood appeared in front of her. The blood exudes the power of a dragon. This is a drop of my dragon blood. Split it in half and refine it for your two spirit beasts that possess true dragon bloodline. This drop of blood is enough for them to transform into real dragons. Not only that, it will also make their strength soar. Long Yuan is a half step to the opening heaven realm. His blood contains incomparable blood force and energy. It is the treasure that dragon race has always dreamed of. To put it bluntly, the Zulong has arrived. They all have to beg me to give the other a drop of blood. The reason why I am so anxious. This was because Long Yuan discovered that the 10,000 years of cultivation awarded by the system had not allowed him to break through to the opening heaven realm. You know, with the blessing of the family level, it means 900,000 years of cultivation. 900,000 years and still no breakthrough. It is conceivable how difficult it is to break through at his level. So I just have to work harder on the Chu family. Transform into a real dragon. Chu Yunling was very excited when she heard this. I heard that the real dragon's physical body has reached the legendary demon god realm. He immediately bowed and said, "Thank you, beast god." Unfortunately, beast god is not interested in women. Otherwise, she would have wanted to marry him to her. After getting the dragon blood, Chu Yunling couldn't wait to continue her retreat. When she came out of the prison, it must be the time for dragon transformation. In the Dragon Emperor Palace, Chu Long and his concubines practiced double cultivation every day. The strength is also steadily improving. Chu Shu Ran spent most of his time in enlightenment, holding the dragon scales bestowed by Long Yuan in his hands to observe the true dragon essence contained in them, and constantly perfecting his self-created divine ability. Boom! On this day, a surge of energy erupted from the sky. A beam of light that penetrated the sky and penetrated the earth shot straight into the sky. The entire human world is shaking violently. It seemed as if it could not withstand this powerful force. At this moment, all martial artists in the entire human world felt an extremely oppressive atmosphere. It feels like the sky is falling. I'm back. After countless years, I finally returned to the human world. Several tall figures appeared from the teleportation array between the two worlds. One of them, a red-haired old man, took a breath of the air of the human world and sighed. Amitabha, although this place is very barren, I have to say that the scenery in the human world is more beautiful, unlike the dead and gloomy holy world. One was wearing a golden robe. The thin monk, holding a purple gold bowl in his left hand and a string of golden Buddhist beads with mysterious runes on them in his right hand, said with a sad face. Yes, what Monk Ku said is indeed true. The holy realm is indeed a bit lifeless. But all of this was brought about by the supreme God realm. If they hadn't separated the 33 heavens and opened up the human realm and the reincarnation realm, we wouldn't have had to practice in the cold and silent holy realm for millions of years. Once we gather the power of the demon race this time, we will definitely counterattack the supreme divine realm and take back the prosperous territory that has been occupied. An old man with golden eyes said with a sullen face and a cold voice. The holy world is cold and colorless. Like a black and white world. The atmosphere was gloomy and depressing, and the air was filled with the breath of coldness and death. It took them many years to adapt to the holy world when they first entered it. At this time, Bei Weng, who had fought with Long Yuan before, hurried forward and saluted these people. Junior Bei Weng, greetings to all the seniors. That was the distress signal you sent to us, right? The old ghost with red hair asked. Yes, it is the junior. Firstly, the strength of the forbidden areas has been investigated, and it is far beyond our previous estimates. There is actually more than one half-step opening heaven realm expert in each forbidden area. Secondly, for some unknown reason, a dragon race of the immortal realm was born in the human world. He is extremely powerful. I am no match for him. Because of his existence, the human world is now extremely turbulent, and the power of my Hell Gate has dropped to its lowest point in history. Bei Weng bowed and said. He recounted what happened when he entered the human world. Especially the real dragon of the Chu family. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that a real dragon would be born in a place like the human world. I guess it might be a legacy left over from some ancient times. It just so happens that I'm short of a mount. Although the true dragon of the immortal realm has a low level of cultivation, it's still okay. In that case, let me go meet him. The red-haired old ghost laughed a few times and was about to take action to capture the other person. What is the shaking of the human world in their eyes? That's not worth mentioning. In the face of absolute strength, no one can make a difference. They are more interested in how to break through the realm of immortality. You have to know that even if they were the strongest in the human world, they could only cultivate to the level of martial emperor. Later, because of his talent and excellent qualifications. Only then can you enter the holy realm to practice. What? Are you treating me like I don't exist? Still want to fight me? An unquestionable and domineering voice sounded. He was a powerful warrior with black dragon horns on his head and black scales covering his forehead. His pupils were golden, and he exuded pure dragon power. In a purple gown embroidered with a black dragon. The whole person is extremely majestic. Ha ha ha, brother Aoshin. Sorry, I actually forgot about you. The red-haired old ghost chuckled and said, in that case, I'll leave that immortality realm real dragon to you to deal with. Subscribe to Chinese novel Audio Wave. He knew that the other party came here mainly to lead the real dragon into the dragon race of the holy realm. So don't compete with them. Long Aoshin just snorted coldly. Then he walked towards the direction of Qianyu. Just one step. It has already landed outside Azure Sun City. Chapter 132 Bloodline Suppression. Long Aoshin. The human world is huge. But that is only relative to the martial artist in the human world. For a strong man like Long Aoshin who is half a step into the opening heaven realm, it is only one step away. At the moment of his coming, Long Yuan also opened his eyes. Dragon race from hell. It's the dragon bloodline of the 4 supreme bloodlines of dragon race. That's interesting. The 4 supreme bloodlines of dragon race all have the chance to become the ancestral dragon. It is the strongest bloodline of dragon race. Except himself, of course. It looks like they came here just for me. Long Yuan stroked his chin. Half a step to opening heaven. The strength is very strong. Qualified to be your own thug. At this moment, Long Aoshan stood outside Azure Sun City with his hands behind his back. He noticed at a glance that the thunderclouds in Azure Sun City exuded a strong dragon power, and concluded that the real dragon in the realm of immortality was living in the thunderclouds. It's just a small city, but there is a divine level formation. Long Aoshan looked at the great formation that enveloped Azure Sun City. That was exactly the heaven and earth formation, set up by Long Yuan. Little true dragon, why don't you come out and greet me quickly? Do you want me to take action? He looked disdainfully at the palace in the thundercloud. The pure dragon power swept over like a raging wave. Under his peerless demon dragon bloodline. Isn't the other party's bloodline suppressed? What surprised him was that his dragon might disappeared like a stone sinking into the sea when it came into contact with the palace. This, before he could react, an even more terrifying dragon might came crushing over. It was like the sky of the universe suppressing him and making him tremble in place. In dragon race, the suppression of bloodline level is more terrifying than the suppression of cultivation level. The stronger the blood, the dragon power it exudes is even more terrifying. This dragon power, how is it possible? How can there be such a terrifying dragon power here? It's even more terrifying than Lord Zulong in the Holy Realm. Just a moment. Long Aoshan was already sweating profusely. His pair of golden vertical pupils were trembling violently. Under this dragon's might, his unrivaled dragon bloodline is trembling. It was as if I had encountered an extremely terrifying existence. He couldn't even muster the thought of resisting. The Lord Zulong in the Holy Realm has gone through countless years and has refined his bloodline to a level that surpasses that of the peerless demon dragon. But it is still incomparable with the bloodline of this dragon. Just then, a dragon roar sounded from the thundercloud. Then a dragon head with black dragon scales and white mane parted the clouds and poked down from them. What kind of dragon is this? Long Aoshan stared at the dragon head with wide eyes. Every dragon scale on the opponent's body. Every strand of bristle exudes yin and yang energy, and is naturally magical. You are just a demonic dragon bloodline. Why don't you bow down to the primordial dragon? Long Yuan opened his mouth. The light in his eyes overflowed. The words are filled with unquestionable arrogance. The first dragon. He had only heard of the ancestral dragon, but where was the first dragon? Long Aoshan gritted his teeth. I want to stand there. After all, I am half a step into the opening heaven realm. He is a strong man no matter where he is. How can we kneel down to him? Thoughts are fighting fiercely, but he couldn't control his body and knelt down. This kneeling seemed to make him lose all his dignity. The whole person became powerless. The original intention was to subdue this real dragon and led it into the holy realm. The result turned out like this. Lost before the battle. You are very good. From now on, you will be one of my generals. Long Yuan spoke directly. He was not given the right to choose. Instead, give orders directly. Why? You don't want to. Long Yuan's eyes narrowed. The terrifying aura on his body began to fluctuate. Half a step into opening heaven. Long Aoshan cried out in shock. Isn't it the realm of immortality? How did it become the half-step opening heaven realm? Damn you Bei Weng, you actually dared to lie to me. What do you mean the other party fought him to a draw? If I had known earlier that it was half a step to opening heaven. No matter what you say, you will bring one or two helpers with you. Long Wei has a strong suppression on dragon race bloodline. But it has no power to suppress humans. If there are others, maybe he could even put up a fight. At this moment, Long Aoshan hated Bei Weng for spreading false information. I'll give you one more chance. If you don't want to, then you'll die. Now the Forbidden Land will be revealed. Demon race will also cross over. And it will take a long time for the Chu family to produce a powerful person. So if you can, he didn't mind taking him in as his general. In this troubled time, we can have more fighting power. Now that I have entered the Holy Realm, I am a member of the Holy Realm. How can I rely on others again? Long Aoshan stared at the dragon's might and said firmly. In that case, then just go and die. Long Yuan did not hesitate at all. The 10,000 Dragons Tower instantly appeared from his palm, growing to a size of 10,000 feet. Waves of dragon roars resounded through the sky, suppressing the enemy. Since it cannot be used by me, what else is there to say? Slow. Long Aotian suddenly said, I'm not afraid of death, but I don't want to die like this without any resistance. If you have the guts, take on Long Wei and fight me fair and square. A fight? Sure. Long Yuan smiled. The Wanlong Tower suppressed it again. He took Long Aotian into the tower. Then his figure appeared in the middle. Since you want to fight me, then do it here. Long Aotian's expression was extremely ugly. He originally thought that if he took action, he might alert the red-haired old ghost and others. So there are rescuers. But I didn't expect the other party to be so cunning. The battlefield was chosen to be within the spirit weapon space in the half-step opening heaven realm. The 10,000 Dragons Tower is Long Yuan's natal spirit weapon. Its level increases as Long Yuan's cultivation level increases. Now it is also the supreme divine weapon at the half-step opening heaven level. The interior contains a vast space world. The human world seems insignificant in front of it. But at least it's a chance, isn't it? Feeling that the dragon's might that was suppressing him completely disappeared. Long Aotian's expression turned stern. It instantly transformed into a huge, boundless black dragon. Although he is the unrivaled demon dragon bloodline. But it has nothing to do with demon race. Let's fight. Long Aotian roared. The space inside the Wanlong Tower collapsed layer by layer. The dragon's body, which seemed to have no end, swung around, carrying infinite power and killing towards Long Yuan. Haha, then let me see how powerful your peerless demon dragon is. Long Yuan smiled. The dragon's body sways. The yin and yang energies flow through the body, and the whole body is glowing with light. Moment. The two dragons fought each other. The dragon claws collided and divine light shone everywhere. The huge bodies were also colliding with each other. Every collision, the divine light gave rise to scenes of the birth and death of the universe. So thrilling. The collision between dragon scales emitted dazzling flames. If this happened in the human world, the whole world will be destroyed in just a moment. A moment later, Long Aotian's body was already covered with wounds. Dragon breath of destruction. Long Aotian opened his huge dragon mouth. A terrifying black energy is gathering, emitting endless divine power. Zulong fist. Long Yuan is no longer in reserve. I think it's time to let the other party see my true strength. One punch out. The golden dragon flew across the sky, roaring and shaking the sky. Boom. With a shocking explosion. Two divine abilities exploded inside the 10,000 Dragons Tower. Its power is earth-shaking. Puff. The back half of Long Aotian's body exploded. Under Long Yuan's terrifying attack, it turned into blood mist, and the bright golden blood filled the space. Chapter 133 Intelligence from Long Aotian. Even so, Long Aotian has not given up. The natal spirit weapon, the dragon cauldron, appears above the head. A dazzling black light burst out from his body, and the blood scattered in the space gathered together, but his injuries were healed in the blink of an eye. Kill! He roared. The demon dragon cauldron became as big as a mountain. A peerless demon dragon is wandering inside the cauldron, exuding an aura that dominates the world. You don't have your spirit weapon, let's see how you deal with it. Long Aotian's mind moved. The demon dragon cauldron was emitting an infinite amount of black light. Suppressed towards Long Yuan. Not long after. Long Yuan returned to the Dragon Emperor Palace. Long Aotian followed behind him with his body hunched. He lost. Failed miserably. Even if the opponent does not use dragon might to suppress, or use his spirit weapon. The fighting power is still stronger than he imagined. So at the final moment of life and death, he admitted defeat. The vitality of the half-step opening heaven realm is indeed very strong. There are also life marks left in the long river of time and space. But it's not really unkillable. In the face of absolute power, even the mark left in the long river of time and space may be erased. So at the critical moment of life and death, he decisively surrendered. Chaos Essence. Just entered the Dragon Emperor Palace. Long Aotian was startled. There is actually a Chaos Essence vein here. You know, even in the vast holy world, there is only one Chaos Essence vein. Only the giants in the Holy Realm are qualified to practice on the Chaos Essence veins. I have a question, why is there no hellfire symbol between your brows? Back to the 9th floor. Long Yuan asked while hovering in the air. Hellfire. That's the result of practicing the special skills of the Saint Realm. As for me, although I have practiced in the Holy Realm for hundreds of years, I practice the same orthodox techniques as you. Why? Long Yuan asked doubtfully. Long Aoshan smacked his lips and said, because the purpose of our existence is to be able to lurk close to the Supreme God Realm and deliver a fatal blow to those guys one day in the future. Until now, he had nothing to hide. Just tell it all. To be frank, the reason why I practiced the orthodox exercises was. This is so that if there is a war with the Supreme God Realm in the future, there will be a chance to sneak into the God Realm and create chaos for them from within. If you practice the exclusive skills of the Saint Realm, wouldn't it be possible for people to see through my details at a glance? God's Realm. Long Yuan frowned. How come there is a world of God suddenly appearing? Seeing the bewildered look on his face, Long Aoshan said, legend has it that in ancient times, the talents were divided into 33rd layers, but later a strong man from the Supreme God Realm broke the 33rd layers apart, forming the current myriad world structure consisting of the Supreme God Realm, the human world, the saint world, and the demon world. However, the best resources in the original 33 heavens have all been occupied by the Supreme God Realm, causing the human world to be depleted, making it almost impossible to even become a god. The cultivation resources in the Holy Realm are also quite poor. In addition, affected by the power of those powerful people who rebuilt the world, the entire Holy Realm is gray and lifeless. There is no vitality at all. In terms of scenery, it is completely crushed by the human world. The same is true for the other demon world. Long Aoshan was a little excited, and even looked a little ferocious as he said, we are all creatures of the myriad worlds. Why should they occupy the best resources in the heavens, while we can only live in such a barren place? That's why they want to unite with demon world. Everything is just to enter the Supreme Realm. Let the world's resources be evenly distributed. Long Aoshan continued to tell Long Yuan. It is said that when they separated again on the 33rd day, there is still a passage from the human world to the Supreme God Realm, but as time goes by, those guys have taken over the entire God Realm. They even blocked the entrance to the Divine Realm. This made other powerful people from all walks of life dissatisfied. That's why they united to attack the God Realm. But I heard that the demon race will bring disaster to the human world. Long Yuan said in a deep voice. That's true in the short term, but if we conquer the God Realm in the future, there will be endless resources there. In comparison, what does a little disaster mean? Long Aoshan looked at Long Yuan with hope. If such a strong fighting force could join the crusade against the God Realm, it will definitely be a powerful help. It sounds reasonable, but I don't care if you turn the world upside down. I have only one goal, and that is to develop the Chu family and make the Chu family I protect the strongest family in the world. So no matter if it's the Netherworld, the demon race, or the God Realm, as long as they block the Chu family's path to development, they are my enemies and I will destroy them. Long Yuan said calmly, looking at Long Aoshan and said, as for you, since you have already surrendered to me, then put aside the matter of conquering the God Realm for now, and focus on developing the Chu family. The latter looked strange. Puzzled, why? He couldn't figure it out. Stronger than the other. Why protect a family? Or the human family? If you really want to build up your power, wouldn't it be better to train your own dragon race? Don't ask any questions, just do it. Remember, don't do anything that harms the Chu family, otherwise I won't forgive you. After saying this, Long Yuan lay down on the clouds and rested. Only Long Aoshan was left standing there in a daze. Marry a chicken, follow the chicken, marry a dog, follow the dog. At this point, I have no power to refute it. Long Aoshan sighed. Since I have surrendered to others, then just be a follower quietly. So he just sat cross-legged there and started practicing. With the Chaos Essence vein, this kind of training environment is better than the Holy Realm. Suddenly he spoke again. Excuse me, senior, what race of dragon race blood are you from? Why are you so powerful? He couldn't get over the fact that he was suffocated by the opponent's dragon power before. Even the ancestral dragon of the demon world doesn't have such terrifying dragon power. Yin-Yang dragon. Yin-Yang dragon. What kind of dragon race is that? I've never heard of it. There are many dragon races in the Holy Realm. But I have never heard of this race, dragon race. Could it be a mutant dragon race? I haven't heard of it before, but now I have heard of it, right? If you perform to my satisfaction in the future, I would not mind giving you a few drops of dragon blood to increase your magic dragon bloodline. Long Yuan said without blinking. Although dragon bloodline is also very strong. But compared to his own yin-yang heaven dragon bloodline, there is a world of difference. Long Aotian smacked his lips. I don't know whether what the other party said is true or false. Let's just treat it as true. Hell Gate. The red-haired old ghost frowned and said, Long Aotian has been gone for so long and still hasn't come back. Looking towards the Qianyu area. As a result, Long Aotian was not found. Amitabha. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Dragon race is lustful by nature. I guess he has met another woman who made Aotian's heart beat. The crying monk said with a sad face. It looked as if he had been ravaged by life countless times. Yes, in that case, let's go to the forbidden area. First, let's deal with the things that were assigned to us, and then slowly enjoy the scenery of the world. The red-haired old ghost nodded. Their main mission on this trip was to break through a restricted area. Let demon race successfully enter the human world. Chapter 134, Expansion of Power. The Forbidden Area, Time Cave. Long Yuan's eyes looked through the Dragon Emperor Palace and the billions of layers of space and saw the red-haired old ghost and others enter. However, what surprised him was that no earth-shattering war broke out. This made Long Yuan, who had been watching this scene, frown. No major war broke out. Are they negotiating? It seems that the predictions of the ancient ancestors of Lingshu Grotto Heaven were correct. The demon race may really be coming. What does the lack of fighting mean? This shows that Suiyudong has the intention to surrender. Once you have this idea, that's negotiation. If successful, once the Cave of Time voluntarily gives up its control over the demon world. Another one to cooperate with the outside. Then the demon race might really be coming. Do you know how powerful demon world is? Long Yuan asked Long Aotian who was practicing. The strongest person in the demon world has not surpassed the half-step opening heaven realm. Otherwise those people in the forbidden area might not be able to suppress the other party. With this said, Long Yuan also breathed a sigh of relief. His current strength is enough to fight against a strong person in the early stage of opening heaven. So as long as the other party does not surpass you too much, he can protect the Chu family. What about the netherworld? The strongest person in the Holy Realm is at the opening heaven level, and there is more than one. Long Aotian replied. With such a strong force, why don't you just go into the human world and suppress the forbidden area? Instead, you just send people here. Aren't you afraid of failure? Long Yuan wondered. They can't get in, can't come in. Why? Because the power of the strongest has enveloped this entire world. They are trapped in the Holy Realm forever. Only those of us who originally entered the Holy Realm from the human realm can travel between the two realms. If they want to get out, there must be an opening heaven realm expert in the human world. Only when both sides work together can they remove the imprisonment of the world's divine power on them. Long Yuan felt more relieved. The strongest in demon world is no more than half a step into opening heaven. And the strongest of hell could not come up. We are still the strongest group in this human world. Nothing to do. Long Yuan began to pay attention to the movements of the strong in the forbidden area and the netherworld hell. A few days later, there was indeed movement. Lingshu Grotto Heaven, Kushuihai and other ancient ancestors from the 8 forbidden areas went to the Cave of Time. At the same time, Long Yuan also received a message from the first ancient ancestor of Lingshu Grotto Heaven. Fellow Taoist, the seal of demon world may not last long. I hope fellow Taoist will be prepared in advance. It doesn't matter. If the demon race dares to extend their hands into the territory controlled by the Chu family, that will be their death. Long Yuan flicked his finger. A stream of light flew out of the Dragon Emperor Palace and sank into the Lingshu Grotto Heaven. It seems that the dragon race expert is someone who will not attack unless you provoke him. Grotto Heaven. The first ancient ancestor sighed after receiving Long Yuan's reply. We expected the demon race to break through the seal, but we didn't expect the forbidden area to voluntarily give up guarding the entrance and cooperate with the demon race to enter the human world. The third ancient ancestor frowned. Previously, Sui Yudong invited them to discuss how to deal with the invasion of demon race. To put it bluntly, it is to let them choose their side, whether to stand with the underworld hell. Standing on the side of hell will certainly protect you from being harassed by the demon race, but cooperating with those guys from hell is undoubtedly courting disaster. Those who can be sent to hell are all extremely vicious and evil. The first ancient ancestor frowned. Why hesitate? If there is no place for us to survive in the human world, the worst that can happen is that we leave here and enter the chaos. Anyway, I will not cooperate with those guys in hell. The second ancient ancestor said in a deep voice. Once on the pirate ship, I'm afraid it won't be that easy to come down. Okay, now that we've decided, the worst that can happen is we'll just have a big fight with demon race. I just don't know who else in the forbidden area would make the same choice as us. I'm afraid it's rare. After all, the God realm has abandoned us. Anyone would feel resentful. We agreed upon 1,000,000 years. It's been millions of years now. But there was no movement at all. It even cut off the road from the human world to the divine world. Long Yuan has been watching the changes in the 9 forbidden areas. A few days later, the ancient ancestors who went to the forbidden area of the Cave of Time returned to their respective forbidden areas. I don't know how the discussion went. The demon race is about to enter the human world. It seems that it is time for the Chu family to expand its territory significantly. Long Yuan called Chu Jingyu over. The relevant matters were arranged. So what if demon race appears? In his eyes, it is just a stepping stone for the Chu family's growth. He just wanted to let the Chu family and demon race have a good fight. The Chu family has produced many geniuses with emperor-level or even divine-level physiques and martial spirits. Only in battle can those people stand out completely. Let the Chu family's name resound throughout the myriad worlds. Start from here. Long Yuan smiled slightly. I heard that Beast God had arranged a mission. The Emperor-level dragon guards who were training in the Dragon Emperor Palace also went out together. Even Chu Yunling and Chu Xuran showed up. Patriarch, what if there is a force that stops us? Chu Long asked. If the other party is a neutral force, we can ignore it, but if the other party is a force affiliated with Hell Gate, then we must eliminate it directly. Anyway, my Chu family and Hell Gate are already incompatible. Chu Jingyu said in a deep voice. According to Beast God, at least half of the human world must be controlled by our Chu family. Now the Chu family has occupied 13 regions in the human world. Many forces took the initiative to join the Chu family. We are not far from the half of the land that Beast God mentioned. Chu Tianyang was slightly surprised and asked, is something going to happen? Why are you so eager to expand your power all of a sudden? In the past, Beast God never cared about territory. And this time he actually gave the order personally. Beast God said that in the near future, there will be a huge change in the human world. There will be an extremely powerful alien invasion, so we should be prepared. Everyone looked solemn. A very powerful foreign race. How strong can the alien race that is considered very powerful by the Beast God be? After receiving the order, a group of martial emperors of the Chu family began to take action. With their strength, who can stop me except the gate of hell? Beast God has ordered that anyone within the Chu family's sphere of influence can break through the martial emperor. Before the Chu family's many martial emperors were ready to take action. Chu Jingyu spread the news. The human world, which was already in turmoil, became agitated again. The Hell Gate also announced, the strongest man from the Hell Gate has come out, and the Chu family's Beast God must die. And Hell Gate decisively dispatched martial emperors to guard those areas not occupied by the Chu family. To prevent those forces from voluntarily surrendering to the Chu family. Chu Yunling appeared in the Kanghai area. I heard there's a big Kun monster saint here. If possible, he would be qualified to be my contracted beast. However, her main purpose of coming here was for the Divine Sea sect in the Kanghai region. Now, in Divine Sea sect, the 2 martial emperors from Hell Gate also descended here. Pass on the decree of the Hell Gate. Anyone who dares to surrender to the Chu family will be killed without mercy. Cao Man Martial Emperor said coldly while standing above Divine Sea sect. Its sound is like rolling thunder. It spread throughout the Divine Sea sect. The powerful Martial Emperor's pressure spreads. It made everyone feel the overwhelming pressure. Chapter 135. This is exactly what I like. Li Kangnan, the leader of Divine Sea sect, was furious. Their Divine Sea sect is not a subsidiary of Hell Gate. But now the other party actually came to their sect and shouted so unscrupulously. In the final analysis, it's because you are too weak, otherwise you wouldn't have to endure this kind of humiliation. Li Kangnan sighed in his heart. If I had known this earlier, I would have joined the Chu family earlier. At least after becoming an affiliated force of the Chu family, these Hellgate Martial Emperors would not dare to shout at them easily. But facing the Martial Emperor, he still didn't dare to be negligent. He immediately greeted her with a smile. He said respectfully, Master Martial Emperor, rest assured, my Divine Sea sect has no relationship with the Chu family. Cao Man Martial Emperor didn't even look at Li Kangnan and nodded, saying, it's okay. Many powerful men from my Hell Gate have descended from the Holy Realm. The demise of the Chu family is only a matter of time. But he was sneering in his heart. When the demon race comes, all of you must die. Once invaded by demon race and transformed into demon race. In fact, it's almost the same as death. By the way, Sect Master Li, I heard that your Divine Sea sect has a stunning beauty named Shi Yao. I wonder if I can meet her. Martial Emperor Cao Man looked at Li Kangnan and said. The latter's facial muscles twitched slightly. How the hell did he know there was such a person? Reporting to Senior Martial Emperor, there is indeed such a person, but she got married several years ago. Oh, married. I know she is married. Cao Man Martial Emperor's eyes sparkled, and he said excitedly, but I like this one. So you know what to do. Go and bring that woman to me immediately. I will be in charge of your Divine Sea sect for the time being. From now on, let that woman serve me. This. Li Kangnan clenched his fists. As a man, he knew exactly what the other party meant. But the key is that the woman is his wife. Am I going to give my wife away to someone else? If someone else dared to say this, he has already smashed the other person's head. What? You're not going yet. Master Li, you don't want your Divine Sea sect's foundation of hundreds of thousands of years to be destroyed in an instant, do you? It's a good deal to exchange a woman for the long-term peace of your sect, and I'm saving her. Cao Man Martial Emperor said in a deep voice. The threat is self-evident. And the demon race is coming. All races will be transformed into demons. Aren't I saving her? Li Kangnan's body trembled. Trembling all over, he gnashed his teeth and said in a low voice, Senior is the Supreme Martial Emperor. Is it inconsistent with your status to do this? But as soon as he finished speaking, Martial Emperor Cao Man grabbed him by the neck and lifted him up, just like he was holding a chicken. In the hands of the Martial Emperor, Martial Saint has no power to resist. What? Are you teaching me how to do things? Cao Man said sternly. Wait a minute, Senior. I am ignorant. Please show some mercy. Just then, an old ancestor of the Divine Sea sect appeared. And next to him was a stunningly beautiful woman with a slim figure and peerless appearance. It was Li Kangnan's wife, Shi Yao. But at this moment, there were traces of tears on her face. The moment I saw the other person, Cao Man couldn't help but widen his eyes and murmured, what a stunning beauty. Even though he had seen countless young women, such a beauty is rare. I couldn't help but swallow my saliva, throwing away Li Kangnan like trash. Cao Man instantly appeared in front of Shi Yao. A loud slap hit the old man's face. Instantly pulled out the other person's old yellow teeth. He yelled, how dare you make such a beautiful woman cry? Do you think your Divine Sea sect wants to disappear? At this moment, another Martial Emperor also appeared in front of Shi Yao. Nodding, he said, she is indeed a rare beauty in the world. Oh, even you think so highly of this woman. Why don't we stay together later? Cao Man's eyes lit up and he said. He hasn't tried this kind of gameplay yet. It's quite exciting when you think about it. Ah. Hearing these words, Li Kangnan roared angrily. A mouthful of blood spurted out. What are you yelling about? What's the matter? Do you want to watch the three of us fight? Why don't I help you? Cao Man laughed loudly. No matter how the other party resisted, he carried Shi Yao to the room. The more the other party resists, the more excited he became. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What did I see? I actually saw such a beast. Just then, a teasing laugh suddenly rang out. Who? Sao Man turned around suddenly. But I saw a figure appearing above the Divine Sea sect at some point. Who are you? Another martial emperor asked in a cold voice. I am from the Chu family. But my purpose today is not to find you, but to find the leader of the Divine Sea sect. The person who came was Chu Yunling. She stood in the air. The cyan long skirt flutters in the breeze. Looking at the weak Li Kangnan, he said, I came here to ask about the position of your Divine Sea sect. Li Kangnan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said with all his strength, my Divine Sea sect is not a subsidiary force of the Hell Gate, but if you can kill these two people, my Divine Sea sect is willing to become a subsidiary force of the Chu family. They had discussed joining the Chu family before. But some ancestors disagreed. The matter was put on hold. But at this moment, the ugly and perverted face of the martial emperor of Hell Gate. Let Li Kangnan make a final decision. Li Kangnan, shut up. Do you want to destroy the Divine Sea sect's hundreds of thousands of years of foundation in one fell swoop? The old man who had brought Shi Yao out before shouted loudly despite having blood in his mouth. No matter how powerful the Chu family martial emperor is, can he compare to the Hell Gate martial emperor? Moreover, these two are perfect martial emperors. Shut up, am I the sect leader or are you the sect leader? Li Kangnan shouted, like an angry lion staring at the ancestor. You, okay, now I will abolish your position as the leader of the sect in the name of the ancestor. From now on, you and my Divine Sea sect have nothing to do with each other. Who do you think you are? Do you have the qualifications to abolish my position as the leader? Old man, don't think you take yourself seriously just because I call you ancestor. You are a martial saint and so am I. How much better do you think you are than me? Li Kangnan unceremoniously started talking nonsense. When we were discussing whether to attach ourselves to the Chu family, it was this old man who made excuses and obstructed the discussion, which resulted in no results. If he had submitted to the Chu family before, how dare the Hell Gate martial emperor come? Just now he actually handed his wife over to those two perverts. You, the Divine Sea sect's ancestor was furious. With blood still dripping from his mouth. It made him look extremely ferocious. My two martial emperors, please help my Divine Sea sect get rid of the traitor Li Kangnan. He knelt before the two martial emperors at the Hell Gate and begged. This Li Kangnan actually dared to be so disrespectful to me. Hee, I have seen many beauties, but I have never seen any other beauties at the martial emperor level. Sao Man, leave this martial emperor beauty to me. Another martial emperor spoke. Can. Chapter 136, Killing Two Martial Emperors. However, as soon as Sao Man finished speaking, Chu Yunling summoned two monster emperor contracted beasts. A giant blue and golden dragon flew across the sky. Its huge body covered the island where the Divine Sea sect was located. The imperial power permeates. Dragon roars, roaring the sky. The appearance of the original two flood dragons has now become extremely close to that of real dragons. Are you the beastmaster of the Chu family? Martial Emperor took a step forward and looked at the two spirit beasts summoned by Chu Yunling from the spirit cave. It seems that Hell Gate knows our Chu family very well. They even know exactly which martial emperors our Chu family has. Chu Yunling stood on top of the Qingtian Thunder Cloud Dragon. With a wave of his hand, the two spirit beasts rushed over. Hee, you two monster emperors in the middle stage actually dared to attack as two martial emperors. Let me teach you how to respect the strong. But the consequences of failure are very serious. Hey. The martial emperor smiled, wandering back and forth on Chu Yunling's graceful figure. Then the aura around him suddenly surged. Martial Emperor's perfect momentum is released without reservation. Then it soared into the sky. The big hand reached forward and grabbed. It instantly turned into a sky curtain and grabbed towards the Golden Saint Patriarch. Oh, you actually targeted me. It seems that the perfect cultivation of the martial emperor has given you great confidence. The Golden Saint Patriarch sneered, facing the attacking giant palm. He did not evade. The golden dragon claw, carrying supreme power, directly met the palm of the martial emperor. There was a loud explosion. The heaven and earth shook violently. In the shocked eyes of the people around, the palm of the martial emperor exploded directly, and blood mist flew all over the sky. Before he could dodge, the entire body was grasped in the hands of Patriarch Jin Sheng. Ah! The martial emperor roared. The energy in the body surges. Powerful energy turned into sharp swords and attacked the dragon claws that bound him. The result was like a slash at an indestructible divine weapon. How is that possible? How can you have such a powerful body when you are only in the middle stage of Monster Emperor? The martial emperor was inexplicably shocked. This is even harder than some of the iron lumps that have become emperors in the flesh at the Hell Gate. HMPH, guess what? The Golden Saint Patriarch looked at the martial emperor caught in the dragon claws and exerted force suddenly. The other person's bones made a creaking sound. But a moment, the blood was already pouring out. Fu Sheng martial emperor felt like his body was about to be crushed. Weren't you very arrogant just now? Are you still being so arrogant now? Seeing this, Cao Man let go of Shi Yao. Fly high into the sky to rescue your companions. Although this woman was attractive to him. But things also have priorities. However, as soon as he made a move, he was blocked by the blue sky thunder cloud dragon. Your opponent is me, then I will kill you first. Hearing the screams coming from his companions, Cao Man was furious. Act decisively. He just didn't believe that a small Chu family, which had risen to prominence less than 10 years ago, could produce such a powerful beastmaster. As a result, as soon as they fought, he was then pulled away tens of thousands meters by a dragon claw. How can it be so powerful? Cao Man steadied himself in the air, looking horrified. Just a slap. His body had already been badly damaged. Why is that blue flood dragon so powerful? How can we fight this? At this moment he was terrified. The strength of those two flood dragons is obviously no more than the middle stage of Monster Emperor. But his fighting power is terrifyingly powerful. Listening to the screams of my companions still ringing in my ears. Cao Man yelled, Fu Sheng, hold on, I'll go get some reinforcements, I'll be back soon, I'll be back soon. After saying that, he disappeared into the sky in a flash. But before he could fly far, a giant golden dragon suddenly appeared in front of him. Your companion has already gone down. Why don't you go down and accompany him? The Golden Saint Patriarch said. He controls the power of space. Thinking of escaping from him is simply wishful thinking. After saying that, the golden dragon claw grabbed down. Divine C. Li Kangnan held Shi Yao in his arms and comforted her. When Yu Quan, the ancestor of Divine C sect, was about to leave quietly. But he was stopped by Li Kangnan. Li Kangnan, what are you going to do? Patriarch Yu Quan glared at the other party and growled. What else is there to say now? Yu Quan, just sit down and die. What did you say? You want me to die? I am the ancestor of the Divine C sect. It was before, but not now. In the name of the clan leader, I abolish the title of your ancestor. If you sit and die on your own, I will not touch your bloodline. But if I do, everyone including your bloodline will die. Li Kangnan finished speaking. Several other martial saint ancestors of the Divine C sect appeared behind him. His attitude is self-evident. They all saw what happened before. Originally they wanted to find someone to replace Shi Yao. After all, if the wife of the clan leader were insulted like this, their Divine C sect would no longer exist. The result is good. Yu Quan did not even consult with them. Shi Yao was captured and sent to the martial emperor of Hell's Gate. You guys. Looking at the several martial saint warriors that appeared, Yu Quan's face turned completely gloomy. What are you doing? I'm doing this for the hundreds of thousands of years of foundation of my Divine C sect. What do you mean for our Divine C sect's foundation? Don't make it sound so grandiose. Yu Quan, we only want to ask you one question. How did the Hell Gate Martial Emperor know that there is a person like Shi Yao in my Divine C sect? If you ask me, who should I ask? Yu Quan's heart trembled, but he also snorted coldly. However, an old ancestor waved his hand. A martial venerable was pulled out from the side. When you see each other, Yu Quan's face turned completely cold. Because this person was the contact person who tipped off Hell's Gate. What? At this point, what else do you have to say? Ha ha ha, that's right. I was the one who leaked the news about Shi Yao to the Hellgate Martial Emperor specifically to attract the Sao Man Martial Emperor to come. I was also the one who leaked the secret about you guys discussing joining the Chu family. It's just a pity that the guy didn't kill you first, but instead set his sights on women. What about the Martial Emperor? He's such a hopeless case. Until now, Yuan had nothing to hide. He said, "You must be curious about why I do this. The reason is very simple. As long as all of you martial saints are dead, this divine sea sect will naturally become the property of my Yu family." What a shame. Man proposes, God disposes. At the critical moment, a martial emperor of the Chu family showed up. Yuan looked at Chu Yunling standing there inside. He also didn't expect that the two martial emperors of Hellgate were no match for the other side. Under the watchful eyes of several martial saint masters, Yuan passed away on his own. At least this way I can leave a trace of my bloodline. I have embarrassed you, senior, by revealing my family's shame. If it weren't for the intervention of the senior, my divine sea sect would have fallen into the hands of the enemy from now on. So no matter what, I would like to ask the senior to stay in my divine sea sect for a few more days and let us show our hospitality. Li Kangnan and several ancestors came to Chu Yunling and spoke respectfully. Yuan just stated his specific intentions. The backs of the ancestors were all soaked with cold sweat. No one expected that. The other party's ambition is so great. Want to take over the entire divine sea sect. Chu Yunling nodded and said, "It just so happens that I also need your help with something." Chapter 137 The Chu family has big problems. Please speak, senior, but if my divine sea sect can help, I will never refuse. Li Kangnan said seriously. I heard that there is a saint-level demon in your Kanghai area. Do you know his location? Ming Kun, senior, you should be referring to the Bei Ming Patriarch. The cave mansion of ancestor Bei Ming is located in the deepest part of the South Sea. His whereabouts are always elusive, but we can use the power of the sect to help you find him. Okay then, please. Chu Yunling nodded. The sea area is complex, with countless islands like stars. There is also an endless deep sea blocking the way. She was not familiar with the Kanghai area either. It would be best to let someone else handle this matter. But at this moment, the island where the Divine Sea sect was located actually began to shake violently. Even the entire South Sea began to shake violently. The sea surface was boiling like boiling water. Drops of water floated into the air, then disappeared. Is this an earthquake? Chu Yunling frowned. Spiritual sense spreads. When I saw the situation on the sea, I was shocked. The entire South Sea is actually shaking. But she discovered that everyone on the island where the Divine Sea sect is located has actually become accustomed to it. Senior, don't be surprised. This is the eruption of the undead volcano in our Kanghai region. Li Kangnan explained. A mortal volcano. Yes, it is a huge underwater volcano. This kind of phenomenon occurs every time it erupts. And sometimes there will be special visions. What special vision? Chu Yunling became curious. It is said that sometimes the phantom of an ancient phoenix will appear, and sometimes the phantom of an ancient tree will appear, and even various rare treasures will appear. Powerful people have explored it before, even the martial emperor of Hellgate has been here, but in the end, they all stopped outside the volcano. He had just finished speaking. Chu Yunling's figure has disappeared. In addition to the Chu family battle flag left at the original place. Only one voice echoed in my ears. I'll leave the news of the Dark Kun to you all. I'll go to the undead volcano to check it out. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Also, if any of you have accumulated enough and want to break through the martial emperor, you can break through at will. Our Chu family will not stop you. Follow the senior's instructions. Li Kangnan and others thanked him excitedly. Really, the Chu family will not suppress others from breaking through the martial emperor. Several old ancestors who already had a lot of experience were even more excited. Since then, they can break through the martial emperor without any worries. Chu Yunling went to the immortal volcano that Li Kangnan mentioned. Because she heard the shadow of the ancient phoenix appear. Could there be a phoenix among them? If it were something else, it might be hard for her to be attracted. But as a beastmaster, the news about spirit beast successfully caught her attention. The phoenix is A creature on the same level as the true dragon. If I could contract a phoenix, it will definitely be a great boost to her strength in the future. Just as Chu Yunling was heading to the undead volcano, other martial emperors of the Chu family have also been rapidly expanding their territories. Emperor-level wars are constantly breaking out, led by Chu Long, Chu Xuran, Chu Feng and other martial emperors. A head-on confrontation with the Hell Gate martial emperor, influenced by Long Yuan. Long Aoshan also became curious. What kind of ability does the Chu family have to allow such a strong man like Long Yuan to protect them? He couldn't help but look through the Dragon Emperor Palace to the Chu family's martial emperor who was fighting with the strong man from Hell Gate. That's weird. Why do all these martial emperors of the Chu family have special physiques? Just a glance, Long Aoshan was surprised. The Chu family doesn't have too many people. It stands to reason that even if one has a special physique, it is impossible to have so many. Suppress your doubts. He continued to watch. You won't know until you see it. He was shocked when he saw it. FK, those martial saints all have special physiques. And there are quite a few emperor-level physiques and martial spirits. How is this possible? How can a family with only tens of thousands of people have so many powerful special physiques? Long Aoshan was completely shocked. His face had become extremely shocked. He saw too many special physiques among the Chu family disciples. This is not something that a small family of tens of thousands of people can do. Even in the Holy Realm, with those immortal sects ruled by powerful opening heaven masters and a history of millions of years, it is impossible for so many special physiques to appear in the same era. There is a problem. There is a big problem with the Chu family. Is this the reason why he protects the Chu family? Long Aoshan looked at Long Yuan who was floating in the air with his eyes closed. Although the Chu family is still very weak now. But if this force grows, the future should not be underestimated. But he was still confused. He felt that Long Yuan may have seen the potential of the Chu family and became their patron saint. But Long Aoshan was still confused. How come the Chu family has so many special physiques? Although Long Yuan closed his eyes at this moment, but his mind was always focused on the battlefield. If those Hell Gate strongmen who surpassed Emperor level dared to take action, then he would attack without hesitation. If you are killed by the opponent in the same realm, then he has nothing to say. The Chu family of Kangyu. Chu Dingtian was sitting with several ancestors with a gloomy face as he discussed the Chu family's current actions. How should we choose? It's time to make a decision. An old ancestor spoke. Didn't the Hell Gate give the order before? Their strong men have arrived. The Chu family's beast god must die. Chu Dingtian said in a deep voice. But the problem is that so much time has passed, and the Chu family's beast god is still alive and well. I even began to wonder if Hell Gate is just taking advantage of the power of others. There is no so-called strong man coming at all. Impossible. The terrifying and vast pressure that swept across the entire human world last time was definitely not something that the martial emperor could unleash. There must have been a strong man descending, but even if a strong man descended, it is still unknown whether he could suppress the Chu family martial emperor. No one knows how powerful the beast god of the Chu family is. No one knows whether the power behind Hell's Gate can suppress him. If the Hell Gate cannot suppress the opponent, then the Chu family can't always be like this. I'm afraid it won't be long. Their Chu family's dominant position in Kangyu will be replaced by other forces. And most importantly, in today's human world, especially within the sphere of influence of the Qianyu Chu family, martial emperors have begun to appear in large numbers. In this case, the Chu family in Kangyu has completely fallen behind. So what if our two companies merged? An old ancestor asked. But he had just said this. Chu Dingtian retorted. Don't forget, my fellow ancestors, we are the main branch. No matter how powerful the Chu family of Kangyu is, it is only a branch. If our two families merge, with the current power of the Qianyu Chu family, I'm afraid they will become the host. By then, what status will we have? He himself was unwilling to see the rise of the Chu family in Qianyu. Naturally, they don't want the two companies to merge. In his eyes, no matter how strong the Qianyu Chu family is, it's just that they were abandoned. If it succeeds, I'm afraid that as the clan leader, I will become even worse than ordinary people. After all, there are more than a dozen martial emperors in the Chu family. Martial saints are even more numerous. So he was very frightened. Chapter 138 Long Aoshan's resentment. This is not only Chu Dingtian's concern. This is also the concern of these ancestors. Nowadays, they have a high status, supreme voice, and even the final say. But after the two families merged, walking around in martial emperor, when martial saints are as numerous as dogs, you can imagine their status. As the saying goes, if you are used to enjoying wealth and glory, how can you live a hard life? How about this? Let's quietly send someone to contact the branch clan and find out what they have to say. If they still recognize us as the main branch and are willing to respect us and let us take power, then it would be fine even if the two families merged. Most importantly, their beast god must obey our orders. This is what they care about most. That beast god is too powerful. The only way to be safe is to keep control in your own hands. The others nodded. Start making arrangements. The Chu family and Hellgate officially confronted each other, attracting the attention of all forces in the human world, including those powerful ones who descended from the Holy Realm to the Hellgate. What's going on with this Chu family? Where do all these special physiques come from? Looking at the martial emperors fighting on the battlefield, Bei Wang frowned. It's normal if there are one or two special physical conditions. But these things appear almost in large numbers, which is really weird. And some of them have very strong special physiques. He is almost invincible in the same realm. Especially the man with the golden dragon and the group of women with the golden phoenix. They all have special physiques. This is really heart-pounding. Catch a few of them and study them to find out what's going on with this Chu family. Bei Wang gave orders to the others. Yes. Immediately, a martial god warrior took action. With a wave of his hand, a vast divine power burst out. Chu Long and others who were besieging and killing several martial emperors were instantly imprisoned. How dare you take action when you are above emperor level? Aren't you afraid that my Chu family's beast god will take action? Chu Long roared. Now in their battle formation, he is the only one with the cultivation level of martial emperor. Shen Biao and others are from the Wu Saint realm. I can't even kill gods. And the person who did it was obviously not an ordinary martial god. I'm afraid he is also the strongest among the martial gods. The other party snorted coldly. No response at all. Imprison them all and leave. But the next moment, a figure dressed in purple descended on the battlefield. Roll. The sound fell. The body of the martial god who made the move suddenly exploded. The soul flew away in an instant. Chu Long and the others felt relieved. Really? If this happens, Beast God will take action. But when they saw that figure, they were stunned. Who is the other party? Senior Long. Bei Wang, who was watching the battle, was horrified. He hurriedly flew forward to greet. How could this dragon race warrior who had crossed over from the Holy Realm suddenly appear here? And also attack their Hellgate martial god? Is this a wrong stance? Seeing the strong men from Hellgate saluting, Chu Long and the others felt their scalps go numb instantly. Could this strong man who just snorted and defeated martial god be from the Hellgate? Long Aoshan stood with his hands behind his back. He said calmly, "You don't have to salute me, I am no longer a person from the Holy Realm." Ah. Bei Wang had a face full of question marks. What does this mean? Long Aoshan looked at him with cold eyes. No further explanation. He slapped Bei Wang's head and it exploded. He didn't forget. If this B**************** D hadn't provided false information, I wouldn't be so reckless as to come here alone and end up recognizing Long Yuan as my superior. That slap just now was just to vent my anger. Senior, you. The other strong men of Hellgate were terrified. A strange and inexplicable look on his face. Senior Bei Wang was slapped to death by a powerful being who descended from the Holy Realm. But why is this? Don't look at me in surprise. I'm no longer from the Holy Realm. Seeing everyone's confused expressions, Long Aoshan sighed and said, "Hey, I have already recognized the Chu family beast god as my master, do you understand? Even though it feels embarrassing. But sooner or later it will come to light." He doesn't care about his face anymore. Everyone was shocked. This most powerful person was conquered by the other party. WTF. Didn't he go to subdue the Chu family's beast god? How could he be subdued by the other party? All the powerful men from Hellgate had their heads buzzing. Beast God is mighty, Chu Long growled, although he didn't know Long Aotian's realm. But from the shocked expressions of some of the strong men in Hellgate, one could guess that the other party's strength and status were probably not low. Beast God can even subdue this kind of existence. This is enough to show how powerful Beast God is. Not far from Chu Long's battlefield, several monster emperors from Tianlong Yuan were also present. When Long Aotian appeared, the dragon blood in their bodies began to tremble violently. That is the blood pressure from a real dragon. I won't interfere in a fight between people of the same realm, but if anyone dares to use their realm to bully others, don't blame me for taking action. Long Aotian looked at some strong men from the Hellgate and said coldly. Everyone was terrified. Dare not speak. But someone has already decided that this matter must be reported to other seniors as soon as possible. This is no longer something they can interfere with. It wasn't just the gate of hell that was shocked. Lingshu Grotto Heaven, who had been paying attention to the Chu family, was also shocked. They found it unbelievable that a dragon race half-step opening heaven realm expert who was at the same level as them had actually surrendered to the Chu family's beast god. That fellow Taoist is so powerful. I thought we would lose an ally. The third ancient ancestor said. Can make a strong person of the same realm come to you. This is enough to illustrate how terrifying the opponent's strength is. After all, at their level, reasoning doesn't work anymore. Only strength can convince the other party. The last time Xu Lang and his team fought against each other, we saw the other party's terrifying fighting power. If my guess is correct, the opponent now has the invincible combat power of half a step into the opening heaven realm, and even has the combat power of fighting in the early stage of the opening heaven realm. The first ancient ancestor said. Before, the opponent, with the cultivation base of the middle stage of the infinite realm, was able to defeat 3 people in the perfect stage of the infinite realm. This is the infinite realm. Not those martial saint, martial emperor, or lower realms. Fighting across borders is not that easy. So Long Yuan's fighting power shocked them all. If that's true, as long as he's an ally in the demon race, they shouldn't be able to invade the Chu family's territory. The strongest in the demon race is only half a step into the opening heaven realm. If Long Yuan really has the combat power comparable to the early stage of opening heaven, then there is nothing to be afraid of demon race. With the shock of Long Aotian, the Hellgate no longer dared to have other divine-level warriors rashly attack. He just sent out martial emperor warriors to fight against the Chu family's martial emperor. Hellgate is indeed the overlord of the human world for endless years. The depth of the foundation was beyond the Chu family's imagination. There were hundreds of martial emperors alone. The huge number shocked everyone. If the Chu family didn't have Chu Long, Chu Shiren and a group of other invincible masters of the same realm blocking the way. There are so many strong people with special physiques. With the current strength of the Chu family, there is no way they can fight against the Hellgate. This is definitely an unprecedented war. The human world was in complete uproar. All forces are looking here. Observe the changes in the battle situation. Chapter 139 Want to control the lifeblood of Beast God. On the battlefield, Chu Shiren was entangled with golden thunder. It was like a thunder god standing in the air. The self-created divine ability is displayed. A golden pagoda made of thunder and lightning came down like a mountain. Wherever the pagoda passes, it seemed as if the space could not bear its weight and it collapsed layer by layer. This is the 10,000 Dragons Tower that Chu Shiren derived from his own divine ability. This move is extraordinary, and we need to work together to deal with it. Seeing Chu Shiren use his special move again, Hellgate martial artists' face changed drastically. Because they have seen this trick before. It is extremely powerful. Several martial emperors have died from this move. So facing this move again, they dare not be careless at all. The 5 martial emperors summoned their imperial weapons together, unleashing their strongest fighting power. God's light shines brightly. The sky and the earth shook, and he rushed towards Chu Shiren. Kill. Chu Shiren looked calm and waved his hand. Waves of dragon roars erupted from the Thunder Tower. It seemed as if there were really countless giant dragons roaring in the air. Then a huge real dragon head emerged from the bottom of the Thunder Tower. It was exactly the same as when the Wanlong Tower suppressed the enemy. Kill! The 5 martial emperors roared. The imperial weapon in his hand collided with the thunder tower. There was a loud noise that shook the earth. The void completely turned into a black hole. A terrifying energy storm spread from the center of the explosion, shaking the entire universe. Far away on the battlefield, many powerful people were watching this scene. However, after the explosion, Chu Shiren was still standing in midair. Golden thunder surrounds the body. Divine power is roaring. But the 5 martial emperors have disappeared. The results are obvious. All 5 martial emperors were killed by this move. All hearts trembled, especially the Hellgate martial artist. Seeing Chu Shiren's unparalleled fighting power, everyone was trembling and didn't dare to get close. This is no longer a divine ability at the Emperor level. The powerful men above Emperor level in Hellgate said as they watched this scene. The power of this divine ability is definitely divine level divine ability, and it is extremely terrifying. That beast god from the Chu family must have taught them this. How despicable. They actually used this method to win. Although the demon race is about to come, it is really embarrassing for us to just watch our Hellgate martial emperors die one by one at the hands of the Chu family. Since we can't do anything, we can teach them powerful divine abilities. It's not like we don't have divine abilities above the divine level. They are the gates of hell, with the holy realm behind us. How could they lose to a tiny Chu family in divine ability? And send someone to investigate immediately. How could the Chu family produce so many people with special physiques? Someone gave the order. It is not surprising if so many special physical qualities have been accumulated over a long period of time. But how many people are there in the Chu family? How many years has it been since it rose? How could there be such a background? So they concluded that there must be some unspeakable secret. In the main hall of the Chu family in Kangyu, Chu Tianyang and Chu Jingyu frowned and looked at the man in front of them. The other party called himself Chu Ming, from the Chu family of Kangyu. To be frank, the Chu family here is just a branch that separated from their place. I have also heard about this matter of branches from those elders who have passed away. What they long for is to return to the Chu family one day. Chu Tianyang nodded and said. Chu Ming was dressed in a luxurious purple robe, standing there with the aura of a superior. Oh, so you all agree that your branch lineage should be integrated into our main lineage? Chu Ming raised his head. Although he himself is just a martial saint. But having the main vein behind you makes you so strong. Because in the past years, this is the expression he has when facing the branch. After all, compared to the hundreds of millions of people in their family, the tens of thousands of people in the Chu family are really too insignificant. The wishes of our ancestors must not be forgotten. It doesn't matter even if you take power after I merge with you. But you just said you wanted to control Beast God. Is that correct? Chu Tianyang narrowed his eyes and looked at the other person. You should all be aware that the Beast God is too powerful. If we can't control him, once he has other intentions, our Chu family will fall into the myriad tribulations and there will be no way back. You can make such a strong man willingly protect you, so you must have controlled his lifeblood, right? Otherwise, with his strength, he wouldn't be so dedicated to protecting you. Chu Ming spoke frankly. There are thousands of powerful forces in the human world. The other party chose this inconspicuous little family. This is very unusual. Therefore, the conclusion drawn by the Kangyu Chu family was that the Qianyu Chu family might have grasped the opponent's lifeline. So, if you want to return to the main lineage, you must hand over the means to check and balance that beast god. However, just as Chu Ming finished speaking, whether it is Chu Tianyang or Chu Jingyu, his expression suddenly turned cold and stern. Eat shit. Chu Tianyang decisively kicked him to the ground. Do you really think your Chu family is a sacred place? You dare to put on airs in front of me? Believe it or not, I will twist your head off. Chu Tianyang held the other person's face with his 5 fingers. With a cold look, he lifted the other person up alive. There was a murderous gleam in his sharp eyes. Chu Tianyang, do you want to betray your master and ancestors? You still have the blood of our Chu family in your body. Bullshit, if we really have Chu family blood in our bodies, why didn't you lend a helping hand when we were on the verge of being wiped out? Why didn't you say anything when facing the oppression from the Hell Gate? Now that the Chu family has developed under the leadership of Beast God, you want to take advantage of it just because you are the main branch. Chu Tianyang was furious. Grab the other person's hair. Ignoring the other person's horrified expression, he lifted it up. He said angrily, "Open your dog eyes and see clearly, even if we are a branch, so what? There are more than a dozen martial emperors, and even more martial saints. How can the so-called main line you mentioned be compared with our Chu family? I think you have forgotten that the strong are respected in this world, right?" And Chu Tianyang stared at the other person's trembling eyes and said, "No one in this world can control Beast God. We don't have the qualifications, and neither do you. No one has the qualifications. As for what you call the lifeline, do you think that Beast God has a lifeline with his strength? If so, it should be Beast God's promise to us. This is what makes Chu Tianyang most angry. Beast God is the supreme being in the eyes of everyone in the Chu family. Don't let anyone blaspheme. The other party actually still wants to control us. Just based on this point. This is enough to show that the Chu family has vicious intentions. Chu Tianyang doesn't care who is in power. After all, what good can one do if he has the power? As long as the strength is sufficient, can subvert any rights. But the other party actually dared to have such thoughts about Beast God. Then there is no possibility of this so-called fusion. Go back and tell your clan leader that even if you kneel down and beg us, we will not accept anyone from the Chu family in Kangyu. Chu Tianyang threw Chu Mingd out. When the other party just appeared, he also thought, if the evil tribes from outside the domain come to attack, they might be able to take in some members of the Chu family in Kangyu. But now, no deal. Chapter 140. Let me ask you, are you afraid of 1.8 million years of cultivation? Chu Mingd was frightened. I didn't dare say a word. At first, he heard from the other party's words that his deceased ancestors had always wanted to return to the Chu family. They thought that these descendants of the Chu family would definitely follow their wishes and return to the Chu family. That's why he dares to be so arrogant. Seeing the ferocious looks of Chu Tianyang and others at this moment, Chu Mingd was somewhat horrified and said, "Do you want to be unfilial descendants and go against the wishes of your ancestors? How will you face your ancestors in the afterlife?" "Bullshit, I can't face them." "Why can't I face them?" "Humph, what was the Chu family like when they were alive? And what is the Chu family like now? Even if we meet in the underworld, they have to serve me tea and water." Chu Tianyang's bold and outspoken words shocked Chu Jingyu behind him. The ancestor is really good. But the truth is not rough. The Chu family almost perished under the leadership of those ancestors. How dare they blame others? Even if our ancestors were still alive. Seeing the prosperous Chu family now, I don't think there would be any thought of returning to the main vein. Go away, go back and tell your clan leader that my Chu family will never merge with a family like yours, and we will not accept you, the Chu family of Kangyu. Also, for the sake of our past relationship, I'm giving you a piece of advice. The demon race from outer space is about to descend upon the human world, and all living things will be devastated, so be prepared in advance. This has severed the last link between our two families. From now on, we will have no connection. Chu Tianyang waved his sleeves. Kick the other party out. Chu Tianyang himself had no impression of the so-called main branch of the Chu family. Not to mention any good feelings. Their lineage has been here for tens of thousands of years. I guess they are no longer related by blood. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a reason why no one has awakened the martial emperor bloodline until now. Chu Mingd rolled and crawled, leaving Qianyu in horror. Even though I was angry, I didn't dare to express my anger. Because this place belongs to the Chu family's sphere of influence in Qianyu. What if I complain and get discovered by the Chu family's martial emperor? Then you might be slapped to death by the other party. Demons. These are a bunch of demons who betray their teachers and ancestors. Long Yuan also observed the conversation between Chu Mingd, Chu Tianyang and others. He also wanted to see what choice Chu Tianyang would make. Fortunately, I wasn't so pedantic as to disappoint him. What are the wishes of our ancestors? Would the ancestors of the Chu family have expected that the Chu family would develop to this point? When he heard the other party say that he wanted to control his lifeblood, he couldn't help but sneer. It seems that he still knows nothing about my realm. Otherwise I wouldn't be so ignorant as to say such a thing. But when the demon race comes, the realm above the martial emperor should no longer be a secret. Ding, congratulations on training an emperor-level artifact refining master for the Guardian family. Mission rewards: 10,000 years of cultivation, 50 mirror-breaking pills can break through any realm below martial god, 3 divine-level physical essences, 3 divine-level martial soul essences, divine-level artifact refining master inheritance, 1 divine weapon, 1 enlightenment tea tree, divine weapon dish disposable item, can increase the level of any level of spirit weapon by 1 level. Ding, congratulations on training an emperor-level formation master for the Guardian family. The mission rewards are 10,000 years of cultivation, 50 mirror-breaking pills can break through any realm below martial god, 3 divine-level physical essences, 3 divine-level martial soul essences, divine-level array master inheritance, supreme divine-level array, Lien Tien array, and a world ancient tree. The system's voices rang out one after another. Although the rewards are generous. But what matters most to Long Yuan is his 20,000 years of cultivation. 20,000 years is 1.8 million years with the support of the Chu family, which is a long time. 1.8 million years of cultivation should be enough for me to break through to the opening heaven realm. The previous alchemist mission is completed. He has accumulated 900,000 years of cultivation in the half-step opening heaven realm. Now add these 1.8 million years. A total of 2.7 million years. Anyway, that should be enough. Try the divine weapon first. Long Yuan thought about it. Decided to use it on the Tower of Time. This thing plays an extraordinary role for the Chu family. The divine weapon vessel looks very strange. It looks a bit like a black cave. There was a blazing golden fire burning in the cave. It seems that we can only use it after the people in the Tower of Time come out. The way to use this divine weapon vessel is to place the spirit weapon inside it. Cooperate with the flame and the formation to refine. But at this moment, there are still people practicing in the Tower of Time. We can only wait until they come out. But with so many mirror-breaking pills, the Chu family will soon give birth to dozens of martial emperors again. Although there are only a dozen or so martial emperors in the Chu family today. But there are many martial saints. Just like Chu Long's harem. Almost all of them are martial saints. Once they all break through the martial emperor, the Chu family's strength will advance by leaps and bounds again. The enlightenment tea tree and the world ancient tree are not bad. Tea leaves from the Wudao tea tree can help people understand the Tao. Even the tea tree itself exudes a strong Taoist aura, which is of great benefit to the development of a family. As for the ancient world tree, every leaf contains a world, possessing all kinds of mysteries. It is the supreme treasure in the world of cultivation. The reward is pretty good. He looked at the new task on the system interface. Sure enough, the next task is to expand the Chu family to 100,000 people. But what made him helpless was that there is still no reward for returning to ancestral bloodline. Host, Long Yuan. Race, Yin-Yang Dragon. Realm cultivation, half-step into opening heaven. Physical cultivation, perfection of domination realm. Current task, develop the number of guardian families to 100,000. Task reward, 20,000 years of cultivation, supreme divine ability, world-destroying fist, supreme divine ability, 9th-generation divine dragon jade, 10 copies of divine level physical essence, 10 copies of divine level martial soul essence, supreme martial soul, devouring the sky. Guardian family level, 9 stars, host's cultivation speed increases 90 times. Looking at the new mission rewards, Long Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. The world-destroying fist is easy to say. But this divine ability, 9-turn divine dragon jade, is similar to the 9 dragon battle body of Chu Ming, the son of Chu Long, who had a divine level physique. Once you have achieved this divine ability, each dragon jade will give birth to a dragon like itself. Possesses the same combat power as the original body. It can be said that once this divine ability is cultivated and practiced, it will be the unrivaled divine ability. Moreover, this divine ability is not limited by realm. Even if you reach the highest realm in the future, it can still be used. Its incredible nature is evident from this. But this also means that a large amount of cultivation energy is required to complete the practice. It's not a big deal. The Chu family is still far from the peak. I have enough cultivation to practice this supreme divine ability. 10 terrifying dragons with the same level of cultivation as himself appeared. Who can be the enemy? Who can stop it? And there is also a supreme martial spirit. Last time it was the supreme physical quality. This time it is the supreme martial spirit again. It seems just as I thought. There is a real possibility that the Chu family will have people with supreme physiques flying all over the place someday in the future. If Long Yuan were a human, he was probably unable to hold back and wanted to absorb the essence of the swallowing the sky martial spirit. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audio Wave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.